All right, everyone. Good morning. Happy Monday. New week, right? Exciting week, exciting weekend. Lots going on. Lots of good news. Lots of great stuff going on at the airport, right? Lots of great stuff going on in the Middle East. Lots of great stuff going on here at home. Interesting times. Good time to be alive, right? Right. So we've been talking about all kinds of fun things over the weekend. We talked a little bit about Theodore Roosevelt. We talked about breaking up some big corporations. We talked a little bit about the war in the Middle East. We talked about what did we talk about? America being conquered. We talked about a little bit about the K-shaped economy. We've talked about a lot of different things. So today I want to talk about the 25th Amendment, right? And what I'm noticing going on right now, and again, you guys tell me if I'm wrong or right if you're in the chat. I'm a person that voted for Trump 3 times. Like, I'm a pretty hardcore conservative, kind of right-leaning type person. I'm a very rule of law kind of guy. I'm a do not mess with us and we won't mess with you kind of a person. I'm extremely pro-tariff because I care about the American worker and I care about the average American be able to start a business, right? So as you know, this is a business channel for the most part. We talk about politics, we talk about current events, we talk also a lot about business, about the furniture industry. We talk about about paint. We talk about many different kind of things. And the truth is that Trump is not doing a lot of what he said he was going to do, right? And so it's funny because what I'm finding is that a lot of Republican-type people have almost got a version of TDS, right? Trump derangement syndrome. We sound like we're crazy. Like, we sound like the liberals from Trump's first term, right? We're like, what is going on? This makes no sense. Why did I vote for this guy? This guy's psycho. He's crazy. He loves to, rape little kids and all these kind of things. And the truth is that I don't have TDS. Like, what I have is I feel betrayed as a Trump voter, right? A longtime Trump voter, because the guy did not do what he said he was going to do, right? When we elected this guy, we thought we were moving the country kind of back to the right. We were going to bring back the rule of law. We're going to bring back, some form of American manufacturing. We're going to make it easier for people to start companies. Like, these are all very basic, easy to understand things. And now we sound like we're crazy because, again, the champion that we voted for, that we fought so hard to get elected, did get elected. Like, a lot of us believe that Trump, the 2020 election was stolen, right? And there's a lot of evidence to support that. I mean, we are these people, and now we sound like freaking liberals, right? We sound like psychos. We all got Trump derangement syndrome. And there's a reason for that, right? And it's not what people think it is. You hear a lot of people. I heard this John Ossoff guy over the weekend. He was talking about, like, oh my God, we're going to crush it in 2028. Americans realize that, Trump's bad. The Republican message is bad. All these Republicans are going to move over to the Democrat side. And what John Ossoff doesn't understand is that we're not going to vote Democrat because we like your policies, dude. Like, we're not going to vote Democrat because we want, transient of kids, and we want you to, censor all of our speech. We want you to lock us in our homes. Like, no, we're not doing that because we want to give more money to the poor. We're not voting Democrat because we like your policies, right? We're not pussies, right? We don't operate this way. We're voting Democrat, and we're going to move the country even further to the left because we need essentially a even stronger person to come in and try and right this ship. And apparently we didn't go left enough. So I want to make it very clear that when I talk about Trump the way that I talk about him, I'm an ardent Trump supporter. But the problem is that when you don't do what you say you're going to do, we got to change things up, right? And again, there's nobody else after Trump, right? J.D. Vance's career is over. Marco Rubio's career is over, right? These guys are never going to make it in politics. Maybe they can be senators again. There's no way they're going to make it to higher office. It's not going to happen. Their what's the word I'm looking for here? Their character is destroyed, right? Someone like J.D. Vance, like super milquetoast, like that guy doesn't have a chance in politics anymore, right? He's basically like Barack Obama. He's a very milquetoast kind of a person. Didn't have a lot of success. Hasn't really done much. Had he not met Peter Thiel, you'd never even heard of this guy, right? So anyway, J.D. Vance is going nowhere. Marco Rubio is clearly a zealot. Marco Rubio is a neocon, and he just wants to push us more and more into war. So this guy is completely toast. So who do you have running after Trump? What do you got? You guys want to vote for Lindsey Graham, fucking psychopath, right? Do you guys want to vote for, Ted Cruz? Ted Cruz, psychopath. Like, again, who do we have on the right that's going to move this country in the direction that it needs to move, other than just, starting conflicts in the Middle East or starting conflicts in all these other countries, okay? Now, other things I want to talk about. So we don't have Trump derangement syndrome, okay? What we have is we have a person that wants to be an imperialist, right? And again, if Trump would have just laid that out when he was running for office, we could have voted on it, right? We have a democratic republic here. Like, we vote for things. This is how the country works, right? There is no one person that just does whatever they want to do. That's called a monarch. That's what they have in the Middle East. That's what we're fighting to protect right now, is monarchies. Okay, we're not fighting to protect democracies. Okay, Israel's not a democracy. Israel wants to be another imperial country, right? So again, at least be honest about it, and I can go with that. If you told me, hey, I want to go take over a whole bunch of countries, I want to increase the American footprint, I want to basically take all the blood and treasure, and I want to bring it back here to America, America will become Rome, like, I can vote for that. Like, I'm on board. But you got to tell me that. And this is the problem. This is the thing that people are really frustrated with about Trump, is that he just doesn't do what he says he's going to do. Now, hot off the presses, guys, coming across the wire right now. If you're in here this morning, right, we're talking about Trump. We're talking about potential 25th Amendment. I want you guys to understand exactly what that means and why, as an ardent Trump supporter, I'm in favor of this right now, okay? Hot across the wires. Here we go. Trump orders Department of War to postpone strikes against Iran energy infrastructure for 5 days amid productive conversations about ending the fighting, okay? The other reason you can't have a person like Trump in office is because he's a fucking liar. He's a deceiver, right? He doesn't tell the truth, and he's constantly misleading the American people, right? And you know this because, again, how many times has Trump said, oh my God, we destroyed their weapons. We've destroyed everything. There's nothing left. I would love to talk to Iran, but there's no one to talk to. You know, and again, he's full of shit. Everything that comes out of this guy's mouth. And again, I can appreciate his attitude, and I like his sense of humor. I think it's fantastic. But when the guy is clearly lying to the American people, that is something I got a major problem with. And I don't understand why more people don't see what this guy's doing. You know, he's essentially wanting to be a bully, right? He wants to be an imperialist, but he's not using the American people to do it. He's just doing it willy-nilly. He's using his cabinet. He's using his Secretary of War. He's using the people in the Republican side of our government. He's not taking the country to do this. He's taking one side of the country and a tiny faction of the country and dragging the rest of us with him. And again, as an ardent Trump supporter, I didn't vote for that. That is not what I want, okay? Again, you say you're going to do that? Let's roll, man. I'm fine. Let me know the plan, and we'll get after it. But that's not what he's doing, okay? So, if you guys are in the chat, I appreciate you being here this morning. It's Monday. We got a big week ahead of us. We got some nice weather, which is going to be fantastic. If you're in the chat right now, hit the like button, add to the discussion, hit the subscribe button, and we'll get into the conversation. We're going to talk about 25th Amendment. We're going to talk about why Trump is doing what he's doing and why the people that voted for him have soured on Trump in a serious way. Okay, so who are you? Why are you listening to me? Okay, I do these streams every day. My name is Eric Wilk, and I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company. We're known for our high-gloss lacquer coating. We move about 500 pieces a year. I ship them all over America. I ship to the top, 2, 3, 4, 5% of Americans, right? Very wealthy people. And so when I talk about where the economy is moving, and I talk about where I'm sending my really expensive furniture, I kind of know something because, again, I'm not sending things to New York anymore. They're all going down to Florida, right? I'm not sending things up to Massachusetts as much. I'm sending things down to Austin, Texas, right? So when I talk about what's going on in the economy, it's because I actually move things within an economy. Other things we're going to talk about today a little bit are tariffs, right? So as an actual person that has 2 manufacturing businesses in India that make all of my brass hardware for my furniture, I actually understand how you import and export, right? How you interact with the third world manufacturer and how that really works. So when I talk about tariffs, I'm not talking about it because I'm a theorist, right? I read some papers and talked to a few people. It's because I actually do it, So anyway, if you like this kind of content, come here every day, so check it out and see what it is we do. We do this about 6 o'clock every day. So, all right, guys, let's dig into it. Let's say hi to people real quick, and then we're going to start. Into the bulk of our cast this morning. All right, Zinny YX is in here again. Good to see you, Zinny. Glad you're here. Again, I love when people come back. I appreciate anyone that wants to participate in these conversations, and I try and always shout you guys out because I really do appreciate it. Micro Shift Now, I've never seen you before. You compare Vance to Obama, but then say he could never be president. That's a pretty silly comparison. Okay, well, again, Obama, here's the difference, dude. So the difference between someone like an Obama and a Vance is you got to give Vance credit. At least he served in the military, right? Obama would never be man enough to do that. But where they're exactly the same and why one can make it to the Democrat Party but the other could not is because Democrats love mediocrity. Democrats love the idea of someone coming from nothing and then ascending to the greatest office in the land. And the fallacy is that Republicans don't like that. We all like that story. The difference is that the only reason Obama made it to the highest office in the land is because he's black, right? Which is the definition of mediocrity. He would never make it when you have to compare with all the other people, right? It just wouldn't work. He has to be black in order for this to work. Now, it only would have been better if he would have been a woman. If he would have been a black woman like if Kamala Harris had ran on Hope and Change in 2008, she would have been president, right? And again, that's no shade against any of these people. It's just the reality of where we were at in that particular time, right? This is what academia did to America. And I've said this many times before, that once you started moving all the manufacturing, the blue-collar jobs to the third world, and then bringing the third world in here to do all the blue-collar jobs, whether that's building homes, digging foundations, doing roads, all the work that these kind of people do, you put everyone into college, right? And there's nothing more than college likes than racism. College absolutely loves racism. They love sexism. They love anything they can possibly do to bring up the degenerate class, right? The class of people who aren't making it in society. They honestly believe this, that you can take a dumb person, you can send them to college, and then they're going to come out and they're going to become a master of the universe. And I'm here to tell you that that doesn't work. I have a completely different take on what college is. And again, I didn't go to college, right? Which is probably the reason everyone in my family is hyper educated. And I've seen this time and time again. You send these people to college, you fill their heads with bullshit, and then suddenly everyone's a genius because they're black. Everyone's a genius because they're a lesbian woman. Everyone's a genius because they got a psychology degree or a basket weaving degree, okay? This is not how society really works, okay? This is one of the reasons that someone like a Barack Obama can become president of the United States being the most mediocre person in the world, okay? Again, I live in Illinois. He was my senator, and again, the guy is mediocre. Now, J.D. Vance, the only reason J.D. Vance could potentially make it to being president is if he was essentially ascended there by somebody else. Again, the guy, super mediocre, super milquetoast, okay? Again, he served in the Marines. He's got that, right? That's the greatest thing you can do as far as an American citizen, as far as I'm concerned, okay? When he went to Yale and then went on to become an investor type, okay, he met Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel is the guy that basically got this guy to where he is in politics today. Again, he's a junior senator, just like Barack Obama, suddenly becomes vice president, okay? It's the perfect story. It's literally the Manchurian candidate story so that tech can take over the government, right? So that tech can essentially, maybe not take over the government, but can solidify itself in government, can get the contracts that it wants, can get the preferential regulations that it wants. Like, why do you think that all the tech companies are able to get their own power stations, okay? You and I, our cities, our states, we can't get our own power stations built. We haven't built power stations in forever in this country. Yet, tech has no problem, right? Palantir is the #1 contractor for our DOD, okay? There's a reason this guy was put in office, because he is he thinks and speaks highly favorable of the tech industry, okay? So again, he'll never make it as president. It's just not going to happen. People are soured on this guy. And again, this guy, a Marine, right, marries an Indian woman, right? Again, my wife's from India, okay? Again, this guy, it's great that he married an Indian woman, but again, I don't buy it. I just don't buy it for a second. I don't buy that his story is the American story. I don't believe this guy is actually married this woman because he loved her. I honestly believe this guy married this woman because he was told to, right? You got to create the image if you want to be president, right? You got to create the image if you want to make it to the highest office in the land. And J.D. Vance, it doesn't work. It doesn't work in the Republican Party. It only works in Democrat parties. So anyway, sorry, I spoke too much on that one. Okay, all right, who all got in here? Sorry, guys, you got me kind of ranting and railing there. But Microshifter, I really appreciate your president, dude. I really appreciate your comment. It's good. I like when people push back against me. I like when we have an open dialogue. We got moderators that are coming here and crush all your guys' bullshit comments. Again, Titan, I didn't see you were in here yesterday. You should have been in here. There was like thousands of comments, and there were so many bullshit comments, dude. I wish you or Son would have been in here to crush the comments. It was hard to find all the good comments, so I really appreciate what you guys do. It makes my life a lot easier. Okay, let's see. Yeah, vote LeBron. Yeah, LeBron's not shit, man. I don't like, LeBron's not a good person, man. I don't even like that guy. And again, super mediocre person. If the guy didn't play basketball, you'd never hear about him. Okay, we got gifts coming in, man. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the gifts. Hold on, let me get to the, this is HMSX6MG sent 6. Okay, sent the gifts. Cool. I appreciate the super gifts. Always appreciate that kind of stuff in the morning. Sorry, guys. I'm talking a little goofy this morning. I might need some more coffee. I woke up late this morning. I haven't had any time to prep. Okay, Microchip now, Taco Trump. I know, man. And again, this is one of the reasons that I'm not a big fan of Trump. And again, I don't think you should 25th Amendment Trump for being a tacoer. But Trump is not doing what he said he's going to do. And it'd be one thing if he just didn't do what he said he was going to do. But the problem is that he's turned imperial on us, right? He is basically just taking his little tiny faction and running with it. And there's no pushback. And the only pushback that I'm seeing against Donald Trump right now is the people that voted for him, right? So it's just insane. If If you guys think that we as Republicans are going to vote for another Republican that was in Donald Trump's orbit, like you're fucking crazy. Like it's not going to happen. Again, we are going to continue to vote left. I will in this November when we have to go vote. I'm voting Democrat, blue, no matter who. Right? As someone who's never voted Democrat, we have got to stop Donald Trump from doing what he wants to do. Donald Trump, no matter how egotistical this guy is, no matter how much power he thinks he has, he fucking works for me and he works for you. And if he did not say he's going to do the things that he ran on and he's just going to go chase his own agenda, okay, I'm not okay with that. Believe it or not, even the most powerful person in the world has a boss, okay? Now me, as a business owner, right, I am the boss. But guess what? I'm the subject and I'm the person that has to do my client's bidding, okay? And if you really want to be honest about how it works, okay, the people that work for me, guess what? I work for them. My job is to make sure they have everything they need to do their job and be able to operate at the highest and most efficient level possible. My job as a business owner is to help these guys move their lives forward, okay? I know this. Donald Trump is not doing that. He's not doing what he said he was going to do. And again, I can go over all the things that we voted on when we voted for this guy and what he's doing now, and it is just wildly frustrating what this guy's doing. Okay, so it sounds like I have TDS, like I've never voted for Trump. No, I'm a lifelong Trump supporter. And again, I don't want this for my country. I don't want this for my kids. I don't want this for the next generation. I don't want this for my military. Okay, so keep on going. All right, he's the GOAT. Taco Trump. All right, this is Nina's Blackwood, 4832. I haven't seen you before. Okay, what's he lying about? Okay, again, Nina, are you talking about Trump? So Trump promised mass deportations, Nina. There are no mass deportations. I don't give a shit what anyone says, okay? When you let in 2.5 million people a year, that means you got to kick out at least 1 million people a year, okay? Trump has not, Barack Obama has deported more people than Donald Trump, okay? And again, I'm not okay with this. I'm not okay with this. This is not what we voted for, okay? Where's the border wall? Okay, Trump wanted what was like $5 billion for the border wall back in his first administration, and how hard did Congress push back against that guy? They fought him tooth and nail. Donald Trump literally tried to take the money out of the defense budget to get the fucking wall built, right? That didn't happen. Okay, now, you guys notice Congress isn't pushing back against Trump at all? Everything Trump wants to do, they rubber stamp it, rubber stamp it, rubber stamp it. That fucking goofball Mike Johnson, that guy's not doing anything. Like everything the American people would want from Congress, Mike Johnson is crushing it. It will not even come to the floor for a vote. Things like H.R. 1100, the sexual harassment slush fund that Congress uses to pay off rapists and pedophiles, okay? Again, Nancy Mace was trying to bring that to the floor to get that voted on. Mike Johnson killed it. Mike Johnson wants nothing to do with it. Stupid things like making daylight savings times the rule, okay? They won't even bring that to a vote. They don't bring anything to a vote that the American people could get behind. Like, give us a couple of wins. They don't want to do any of it. You know, it's wildly frustrating as a taxpayer and someone who is just, like I said, just wanted mass deportations. I just wanted major tariffs, right? I wanted Trump to crush the deep state. I wanted the Epstein files released. I wanted Trump to go after all the people that orchestrated January 6th. I mean, there are a lot of things that we voted for that Trump said that he was going to do. He's not doing it. His tax cuts, extremely watered down. Not what I voted for. You know, Trump just, he is just so disappointing, guys. Like, again, and maybe I had it built up in my head. You know, one thing that Donald Trump has done, he has literally cut the federal government by 10%, okay? Like, say what you will about the guy. If that's all he does, no one's ever going to talk about it, but it might be the single greatest thing Donald Trump does for the American taxpayer that he did in his entire presidency, okay? So that's 200,000 people, guys. That means you aren't paying for those people to leech off of the federal government. Now they got to go get a private sector job and actually do something that somebody else actually wants, right? You got to convince someone to buy something in the private sector in order to get them to give you some fucking money so that you can employ people and then give them something in return. Like, this is how it's supposed to work. When you have millions of people working for the federal government, it's just literally a suck off the taxpayer, you know? So anyway, sorry guys. Okay, see, Jess of the WW 120. Good morning, Jess. I think you were here the other day. Thanks for coming back. All right. Christian Medwide's back. All right. 852. You don't make threats unless you're going to carry them out. No. The other thing is that you don't make threats for the things that the American people don't want you to make threats for. That's a whole nother discussion. Again, if Donald Trump had said, you know what, we're going to go crush the Middle East, right? We're going to go be Israel's bitch. We're going to go stabilize the Middle East. And here's why we're going to do it. We could have voted for that. But that's not what the guy said. In fact, he said the exact opposite. And all these people that are suddenly said, oh, no, Trump's always said this. Trump's always. Again, when the guy's been a media mogul and been internet famous his entire life and been cable news famous his entire life, you can find anything that Trump said because he's been talking his whole fucking life, right? And this holds true for almost anybody that's famous. But you guys want to, miss the fact that, again, what the American people elected this guy to do was literally to not start conflicts. Now, you want to make the case, make the case. But when the American public are like, no, this is Israel's war, like, you got to own that shit. But he doesn't want to do it. He's just going to deflect, and he's going to continue to say, oh, no, that's not what I did, in his fucking retarded voice. He's not going to do it, and it's wildly frustrating. You got to be honest, guys. You got to be honest with the American people. And when it comes to sending our sons and daughters to a region of the world that none of us are ever going to go fight for a country that we're never going to see, okay, I got a problem with that. I'm done with that. Like I said, I'm one of these guys. When 9/11 happened, guess what? I went and I signed up the next month to go fight that war. It happened in September. I was in the Army recruiter's office in October saying, I want to go kill some fucking terrorists. I want to go get vengeance. This is bullshit. Send me. Okay? This is not that situation, guys. I'm here to tell you, this is not that situation. And what this guy's doing is he's breaking apart this country. The people that voted for him, that wanted to wanted to own the libs, right? I'm one of those people. Okay? This is not that. Not only are the liberal people kind of pissed off, but you got half the Republican base right now, at minimum, is like, this is fucking bullshit. But again, you're not going to hear it on X right now. You're not going to hear it on cable news. They think that what they say, 100% of MAGA is behind the president. Okay, apparently all of us left MAGA, right? We all left MAGA. Apparently now we're all America first. I don't know where they get these numbers, but the propaganda is so palpable, guys. Like, you have to see this. People have to see what's going on. What's going on in X, guys? Like, it's just insane what we're seeing in this country. And again, it's almost like, it's almost like the guy's pulling voodoo, or the propaganda machine is pulling voodoo on everyone. The algorithm, the internet algorithm is trying to convince everyone, like, no, you want this. This is exactly what we want. Israel's our friend. Israel's our friend. Iran was going to attack America. Weren't you looking for Iran before you go to work? Do you check Iran outside? You're in the bushes. Iran's going to come get us. Iran was going to shoot missiles at America. Like, Iran, like, nobody was talking about Iran, guys. Like, I'm here to tell you, it's like, oil was trading in the 60s. The stock market was moving in the right direction. The 10-year bond, or the 10-year yield, which controls mortgage rates, was coming down. Like, employment is historically low, 4.5%. More people might be taking on jobs there, but you can't argue that the employment rate is fairly low. The border was closed. Mass deportations, while were fucked up, again, maybe they would have come back. The tariffs, while not what they were supposed to be, are still relevant. Maybe they will grow. Like, we were moving in the right direction, and this guy crushed it all. He destroyed it all. And for what? For what? Like, do you guys feel, are you going to take a little bit of pain for a long-term gain? Like, have you ever heard of fucking salesmen, guys? Like, holy shit, this guy's just the most amazing salesman I've ever heard. And people are just swallowing this shit like a load of facts. Like, it's wild, right? I can't be the only person that thinks this stuff is insane, So anyway, sorry guys, I'm just running my mouth. I need to get to my topic. Let's say hi to some more people. I appreciate everyone putting their comments in here. I really do. It's super helpful. Okay, I've tried to do this. I've tried to do these kind of casts with like a little bit of input from people, and it's very difficult. You really need the interaction, So again, this is one of the reasons I try and comment to all you guys. So, okay, don't make the rest of you going to carry them out. Okay, yeah, and Christian Medwood, you're not wrong. All right, Texas are busting here, dude. Haven't seen you in a while. Okay. If you had it to do over, would you vote for Kamala? No, I wouldn't vote for Kamala, right? But what I'm saying at Texas or bust is this is the potential conundrum that we're running into right now. And what I see on the left is they literally think that because Trump has betrayed his voter base, that suddenly we're all going to vote Democrat because we like Democrat policies. What they don't understand is that, no, if Donald Trump isn't the guy that can move us at least back to the center and maybe a little bit more to the right, like, apparently I got to vote for a Hitler-esque figure, right? I got to vote for a Caesar-esque figure. And it really bothers me as an American that I have to do that. But apparently that's what it's going to be, okay? So again, I will vote left until my champion shows up, right? I will vote left until somebody comes in that says they're going to do what they say they're going to do, and then they fucking do it, right? So when he says he's going to do mass deportations, again, he's going to snatch the kids out of the schools. He's going to snatch the guys off the job site. He's going to snatch the wives out of the home. He's going to put them all in a big fucking cage right on the border, and then he's going to kick them the fuck out of here, right? That's what I voted for. That's what I want done, right? I want the rule of law enforced with extreme prejudice. This is what I want for my country. And again, if my president, even though he runs on it, isn't going to do it, he got to go. And I don't care how he goes, right? I fought for this guy because, again, they were coming after him. January 6th, right? I fought for this guy because they impeached him twice, right? I fought for this guy because of what happened during COVID. I fought for this guy for a multitude of reasons. And now that he's in office, he's not fighting for me. It's complete betrayal. So I will vote to the left. I will vote for 50% taxes. I will vote to let every fucking illegal into this country. I will vote to have every single word censored. I will vote for the Department of Truth, whatever you guys want to call it, the Ministry of Truth, whatever it's called in 1984. I will vote for all that shit until my champion arrives, right? At some point, I will get what I want from the fucking person that I vote for. Otherwise, voting doesn't matter in this country. And again, the Democrats, they get what they want from the people that they vote for, right? They bring in, they would send everyone off to college, right? They, censor speech. They tell everyone, that black people, white people, gays, lesbians, anything they want, it's all exactly the same. Everything is the same. We're all extremely equal. Black people think the way that white people think. White people are just as physically dominant as black people. They tell us all this shit. And guys, it's all fucking lies. It's all fucking lies. And this is what we get from the Democrats. But they do it. They are responsive to their voter base. Our president is not responsive to his voter base, and it's wildly frustrating. So anyway, as you guys tell, all right, man, the moderators are in here booting people out. Good. Get rid of these people, Titan. I'm so thankful you are here, dude. I wish you would have been here yesterday. Oh my God. Okay, I'm the farmer in North Carolina getting a psychology degree without loans. Fantastic. That's right. Okay, good for you. Good for you, Jess. That's right. I remember you. Again, you went through the divorce, and that's impressive. Like I said, good on you. Anyone that can, like I said, go to college, go to college, but pay for it, by working is just, man, you got all the respect in the world. We've seemed to have forgotten that people used to work to go to college. And again, now you just throw that money onto the loan. We'll cover your apartment, your dorms, your food, your whatever you need. Just roll it over into the loan. And then when you get out of college and the fucking degree doesn't pay what it's supposed to pay, well, suddenly I'm the guy that's got to pay for it, the taxpayer, because I guaranteed this shit. While they were shoveling all the jobs to the third world, while they're bringing all the third world in here, I also agreed to pay for your bullshit degree, right? So, but Jess, if you're willing to pay for it, again, if you get a bullshit degree, Jess, and it doesn't work, and I know you want to work with veterans, I think it's great. But again, at least you're paying for it. You're responsible for it. I'm not responsible for it. So that's one of the reasons man, good on you. Okay, do you have a criminal record? No, never been arrested. I did steal a bike seat once, right? That's how old I am. I stole a bike seat once. Titan Brew, 8493. Be relevant, ask questions, and comment on top. Yes, again, guys, if you just got some bullshit comment, Titan's gonna just blast your comment. It's not even gonna be seen by people. And so we keep relevant, we keep comments in here that we can interact with, right? That people can, you gotta have an opinion, you gotta have a fact, you gotta lay out why I'm wrong, why I'm right, why you're wrong, so we can have an interactive dialogue. Otherwise, your comment's not gonna be seen. All right, David Rogers, 5180, I left. All right, cool. Jacobs Castro, 8026, talk about the welfare, Musk, and all the rest. Okay, this is one of those things that people tend to talk about a lot, is they like to blame rich people for everything. All their problems, it's with a lot of people, it's always someone else. It's always somebody else, right? And literally, when I talk about voting, we literally vote for a person to do the thing that we want in the move. This is how it works. But a lot of people don't actually work that hard. A lot of people don't actually show up every day on time. They don't actually volunteer for everything. They don't actually become better at what they do. They just want to be mediocre forever. And guess what? They don't get what they want out of life. But they look at a guy like Elon Musk, or maybe they'll look at a guy like Jeff Bezos, and they'll be like, oh God, fuck that guy. The government helped him. He stole from somebody. He screwed over all these people to get rich. I'm here to tell you guys something. It is impossible to get rich by screwing people over your entire life. Will there be bad contracts? Will there be bad interactions with employees? Will somebody win and somebody lose? Absolutely. This is business. This is life. But you know what? These people don't fucking complain about it. They pick up their pieces and they go play the game again. They go find a different way to play the game, and they figure it out, and they become hyper successful. These people are not the people you need to be fighting against. Donald Trump was supposed to be fighting against people you need to be fighting against, right? The people that allow mediocrity, that promote mediocrity, these are the worst kind of people. The people that tell you guys, no, it's okay. You don't want to get your shit together. You don't want to do anything. Hey, go get some welfare. Hey, we got Section 8 for you. Like, no, you don't have to go get a job. Like, you can go to college, go to college for 8 or 10 years. Guess what? The government will pay for it. The taxpayer will pay for it, right? This mediocrity and the stuff that we do, like, oh, no, that's good enough. Like, this is death, guys. This is not how you want to run a society. And again, I'm probably the minority here, but I push back hard against people that fight billionaires and say, oh my God, these people, they fucked over people, blah, 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 blah. You know how hard it is to convince somebody to buy a product from you? Like, how many of you guys are in sales? Is there anybody here in sales? Is there anyone here that has to go look at someone, tell you, like, don't call me. I don't want to hear from you. I hate you. I hate your product. Why would I buy from you? I don't have any money. I'm not ready to buy. You know, there's a million reasons not to buy from somebody. You know how hard it is to convince someone to say yes? You know how hard it is to say, hey, can I get that credit card? You know, hey, you want to write me a check? Hey, you know, I take payment in full frontal nudity. You know how hard it is when someone tells you, hey, don't ever fucking call me again. And then next week, how's it going? You know how hard it is to do that, guys? Like, most people don't understand what it takes to create a business and to convince someone to buy your products so that you can pay your employees, okay? A lot more to life than just going to college and just showing up for your 9 to 5 and doing the same fucking thing every day. So be careful when you push back on millionaires and billionaires, because most of these people have had to do that their entire lives, and guess what? They ended up winning. And the truth is, if I'm being completely honest, there's a lot of people that are able to do that, and guess what? They fail. Or they end up like me, like just middle class, you know, maybe slightly upper middle class, right? But guess what? It's never easy. It sucks every day, okay? So anyway, all right, more comments. See what we got in here. We got David Rogers 5180. Okay, yeah, it's BS. All right, cool. Brick, NAV, they are idiot. Okay, again, not sure what you're saying there. Just the W2. Fear mongering is very effective. Yeah, and I get it, Jess. You're 100% right. And Trump is just, again, these people that push this terror over the Middle East. You guys remember, there was no problem before we launched this war, okay? Regardless of what people tell you, there was no problem. Nobody was talking about Iran, guys. It was not a thing. Americans, Europeans, people were moving over to Qatar, moving to Abu Dhabi, right? This was becoming one of the places that Americans go for fun. This was becoming Cancun. This was becoming Whistler Ski Resort in Canada, right? This was becoming Cabo. It's not happening now. Again, everyone's fucking terrified of what's going on over there. You know, it's a big problem. You know, the cost of gas. I don't know what you guys are paying for gas. Right down the road in St. Louis, we're paying $3.70 a gallon. Up here in Godfrey, Illinois, we're paying $4.20. Okay, because again, it was $2.50 here in St. Louis before this happened. Okay, we're all paying for this. And again, if you guys want it, great. You know, but anyway, the price is stacking, guys. Right? Okay. Good. Too far. All right. Willie Wallace guy. I'm changing parties to independent. Both. Damn the. Yeah. And again, it doesn't matter who you guys vote for. This is one of the problems that I have in America. Like, what's the point of voting if you vote for a Democrat and Israel wins, or you vote for a Republican, Israel wins, right? What's the point of voting for a Democrat and the government just keeps increasing the debt, right? Doesn't balance the budget. What happens if you vote for a Republican? Just keeps raising the debt, right? Doesn't want to balance the budget. Like, voting doesn't matter, guys. All that works is that you pay your 22.5% in income taxes. That's all they want. That's all they care about. And if you push back, if you want to vote for, well, go vote for this guy. Well, it doesn't matter. You're still going to have to pay your taxes. No one's going to cut your taxes. This is why I say in every one of my casts, the only way to fix this problem is to cut off the federal taxes. You got to cut it off. You know, and I don't know how we do it, but it's the only thing that's going to get these guys to speak. All right, if you guys are in the stream right now, my name is Eric Wilk, and I own the Splendid Crow. If you like this kind of content where we talk current events once in the morning for an hour or two, we also talk about business. We talk about the furniture industry. We talk about painting. We talk about working with metal. We talk about all these things on this channel because that's what I do for a living. If you guys like that kind of content, hit the like button, subscribe, all those kind of things. Other things I need to talk about real quick. We got a subscription idea. You want to support the channel. 99 cents a month is just a little way to help me. Again, I make my money in the furniture business. I don't make my money as a YouTube content creator, but again, it's just a nice way to show support, and we got to talk about it because that's how we grow the channel. I also want to talk to you guys about the growth of this channel. What have you guys made possible for me on this channel? What have you guys made possible for us to grow this channel, okay? Right now, the channel has grown 282% in the last 30 days. Okay, so the channel is growing really well, right? And this has been happening for months now at this point. This thing took off in February. We've been doing this every day. And again, I really appreciate it, guys. Views, we're getting 150,000 views a month. We're getting 2.2 thousand watch hours a month. We've grown this channel by 324 subscribers in the last month, right? And revenue for the month is $55, you know? So anyway, there's the real stats on how the back end of the YouTube thing works, just so you guys know, okay? All right, see, message deleted. We got Shoot First 2097. USA had no problem in the Middle East until, I know, man, it's just, there was no problems. Okay, I need the lamp. Yep, everyone loves a leg lamp. Again, there you go. Look at me, I got a hat, okay? Everyone likes when I do that, all right. Castrol64 says hi. Costello 64 says hi. Good to see you, dude. All right, Dr. Buttons 9512. He's a veteran of victimhood. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I'm not much of a victim. All right, David Rogers 5180. Yeah, we had no choice. Okay, again, David Rogers, why did we have no choice? Tell me why we had no choice. Let's bat it around because I think we absolutely had a choice. But again, that's me. Okay, so who's here? We got, oh, I didn't see her. This is Caroline Enyo 007. Caroline, oh, Caroline NYC 007 sent happy poop. Okay, you sent the gift. All right, cool, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the gift. I sent a lot of furniture to New York City, but not as much as I used to. So, okay, the presidential touch. Interesting name. Okay. What's your position on Korean fishing rights? Okay, I got no opinion on Korean fishing rights. All right, Iran will be coming in soon, though. Again, Iran will be coming in soon. Yeah, I know. Be looking for it, guys. When you guys go to work today, make sure there's no Iranians around your car today. You know, make sure when you go to the gas station, you look out for Hezbollah and Al Qaeda and all the proxies from Iran. Let's see how that one's going. All right, not you. The independents just have to flip. And again, this is Profoc. Profoc 22, you said something to my wife the other day. I didn't like, and you said kind of a dick thing. And honestly, if Titan's in here, fucking block this guy, get rid of him. Because again, we don't talk that way. We don't talk that way around women. We don't act that way around women. And again, when my wife comes on here to talk, you want to act that way, like you got to fucking go, dude. So you're dead to me. Okay, Logan Norita fan, shut up. Yep. Okay, this is Old Glory 4648. All right, this guy just said he's going to vote to destroy the country until someone he likes gets in and does what he says. Now that's fucking stupid. Okay, well, again, you don't have to like my opinion. Again, this is a democratic republic. You can vote for whoever you want. You want to cancel out my vote? Cancel out my vote. Okay. Again, when voting doesn't work, guys, you got to do something crazy. And again, if I got to go even further to the left, right, I got to go vote for people that are all about socialism and communism. That's what I'm going to do. Because until I get someone that is going to do the thing that I want done, especially when you say you're going to do that thing, you better do it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep the country going left until I get the most strong-armed, authoritarian guy I can possibly get to come in. Because no one wants to do what they're voting for. Only Democrats want to do what they vote for. Apparently, the Republicans don't want to do it, So if we're not going to be different than the Democrats, why don't we all just vote Democrat then? So that's kind of how I see it. All right, idiot. Okay, just before. Okay, this next election, I'd like to see a real moderate candidate run. Yeah, and again, I don't think moderate's going to win anymore. Just unfortunately, it would be nice too. I'd like to see a moderate come in. I'm with you. Like, I would not have to think. I would like to not think about politics. I would like to not think about the federal government. I would not like to think about the fucking hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes I pay every year. I would not like to think about the $200 billion that apparently we're going to give the military to go fight some bullshit war. Like, I would like to not think about a lot of things. But the truth is that until we have equilibrium in this country, we're just going to continue to move it as far as we can to the left until we get a real Republican in here that wants to do what he says he's going to do, not what some little tiny country in the Middle East with 9.6 million people wants to do. Like, until we get that president here, we just got to keep going left. I don't know what else to do. Okay, let's see. Bro, it's an MF Monday. Okay, this happens. Who's this? Joel Coben. He fought for this guy. I know, man. And again, that's another thing. Like, I feel like because I voted for this person, I have to just agree with everything they are doing. Okay, again, we didn't vote for this, guys. We didn't. When you elect someone to run to be your president, you're electing for someone to do what you want done. You're not voting for that person to do what they want to do. Like, you guys, I don't know why more people don't get this, right? This is the problem with politics today. Like, no matter who you vote for, you guys have to continue paying this massive tax bill. Again, you have to continue to not balance the budget. You have to continue to pit poor people against rich people, white people against black people, men against women. Like, I'm done with this. I don't want to live in this kind of society. I don't want these people to, again, get elected and then go do what their donors want, to go do what foreign countries want, right? They need to do what the American people want. And until we get back to that, guys, like I said, I'm going to move this country as far left as I possibly can because apparently that's what we got to do. So, all right, Easy 44, FTD, all party when he's gone. Okay, not sure what you say there, dude. Mike Church is back in here. All right, man, good for you. Mike, good. I appreciate the dialogue with you yesterday and the back and forth with Canada. So it's always good to have real conversations with real people about real things. And again, we don't have to agree. Okay, it's all rigged, buddy. I know it's all rigged. And this is Noah Grievous. I agree with you, man. All right, he fought for this guy. He's going to tell his grandkids I fought for this guy. Yeah, of course I'm going to tell them. Why wouldn't I? Like, why wouldn't I say, yeah, I fought for Donald Trump. We thought that we were going to get this thing. I literally am the guy that has the Trump 2024 sign out in his house all year long. I live in Illinois. I'm the only red guy in my neighborhood that had that kind of a sign. Yes. And then I was deceived. The great deceiver in chief, right? All my hopes and ambitions went to the state of Israel. Love it. All right, Jess of World War, let's see, Jess of the World War 120. Okay, how do you feel about the Electoral College and its influence on our elections? Jess, I don't know much about the Electoral College. Like, I know, I understand how it works, you know, but what I don't understand is that the president does not, at least in the Republican sense, is not responsive to his voters. So it doesn't matter what the electoral college is. It doesn't matter if it's just the popular vote. It doesn't matter how we elect a person. If they're unresponsive to the people that put them in office, what's the point? Doesn't matter what kind of a system you have. If the person that is voted into office doesn't do what he says he's going to do, it doesn't matter how you elect the person. I mean, it doesn't matter if, you guys all do tickets. It doesn't matter if you guys, we do a fucking bingo card for the president. It doesn't matter how the president gets elected, if he doesn't do what he is elected to do, what's the point? That means you don't live in a democracy, guys. You don't live in a democratic republic. You just live in an oligopoly, right? Where essentially you got a handful of people that control everything. This is not what America is, guys. So, all right, to Old Glory, 4648, easy for you should start uploading content on YouTube. Society is truly missing out on a glorious locale. Okay, I'm not sure you're saying that. And again, people that put streams on YouTube, very difficult, guys. It's very difficult to sit in front of the camera and talk back and forth with people, interact with people back and forth. A lot of people don't want to do it because, again, there's a lot of, got to collect my thoughts. It's not as easy as it looks. A lot of people don't have the time. A lot of people don't have the consistency. It takes a lot to do this every single day for the amount of time that we do it, and to be someone who doesn't use tons of ums and pauses and actually can collect their thoughts and have a back and forth with people, So not as easy as it looks. 2.6% of all people that start a YouTube channel become monetized, right? So to put those stats in your guys' pipe. All right, David Rogers, Roger Carlin, owners, man. George Carlin had a lot of great things to say, right? The most famous thing is it's a big club and you ain't in it, and that's what I think is going on. I don't think we're in this club, guys. And again, the way that Trump is using our government, right? We haven't even got to talk about the 25th Amendment, but the way that Trump is using our government and using our military, I don't think is legal. And again, as an American, I'm not okay with it. Now, if you had voted on that, hey, I'm going to go create the Imperium, right? I'm going to go fucking Warhammer 40,000, like, great. I'm okay with that. But again, we got to vote on it. And he doesn't want to do that. He just wants to do whatever he wants to. He wakes up on the wrong side of the bed and he's like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to go do this thing. And then he just goes and does it. Trump has a boss, guys. I don't know if you guys understand this, but the president has a boss. And he is not acting like he has a boss. He's acting like his boss is Benjamin Netanyahu. He's acting like his boss is Jared Kushner. He's not acting like the American people are his boss. And that's how I see it. So, all right, let's see, it's timed out. All right, Russell Dixon back in here. Good to see you, dude. Okay, right, don't finish the 8th grade and had a decent career. Didn't finish the 8th grade and had a decent career. I'm not sure what you're saying there, Russell Dixon. I made it to the 11th grade, but I don't know who the 8th grade is. Maybe it was me. Okay, I said the quiet part out loud. All right, David Rogers, 5180. Every time a new president comes in, a new war starts. It sure seems that way, right? It's like, if we vote for a non-interventionist, right? If we vote for someone who says he's going to end wars, right? Even though if we don't believe him, right? These are things that create a mentality, right? These are things that create kind of an image or a picture of who we're voting for, right? It's the grouping of all the things that this guy ran on that creates the person, the man, the image, the whatever you want. And Trump has just he's completely went 180 on most of it, at least in my opinion. Maybe you guys disagree, but I didn't see Iran as a threat. I don't think Iran was a threat at all. And again, when they try and say, well, no, it wasn't. I said it was a threat, therefore it was a threat. It's like, well, wait a minute. You told us that you bombed them into oblivion and that the nukes are never coming back and that all their facilities are destroyed. And then 3 months later, it's like, let's go to war. And you're like, well, hold on a second. You said this thing. And he's like, no, I didn't. And all the media people are like, no, we didn't. He's like, Iran's a threat. You can never let Iran have a nuke. Like, you said there was no nuke. No, I said that I would always, I would never let Iran have a nuke. And suddenly there's a nuke because Israel says that there's a nuke. And therefore we got to go to war. We're like, oh, wait a minute. Maybe we should vote on this. No, I said it. Therefore I'm the president. We're going to go do this thing. And you're like, well, hold on a second. You said you're a non-interventionist. No, I didn't. Fox News. No, he didn't. X. No, he didn't. And this is the situation that we're in. All of us that voted for this guy, that pushed hard for this guy for a long time, we're just like, hold the fuck on here. This is not what this guy said. And again, the internet and the algorithm is like, no, this is exactly what Trump said. And we're like, what, am I in Crazyville? Like, did I take crazy pills or something? Like, was I in a coma the last 10 years? Like, what is going on here? But you're right. Every president that gets elected always goes to war, right? It's just very popular. One of the reasons I think we're going to war with Iran, guys, is I think the economy is in bad shape all of a sudden. Like Trump did not want to deal with the things that he ran on. So hey, look over here, squirrel. It's like we're like economy, housing, inflation, gas prices, car prices, property taxes, income tax, and he's like, war, look, and everyone's like, ding! It's like the cartoons. It's just, and it's like everyone's kind of forgot what's happened over here. Like everyone's bitching about the price of gas, which they're gonna bitch about, but there's a lot of other things that are no longer being worked on. So, okay, we're paying $3.99 a gallon here in Southwest Florida. Right on, man. That's not terrible, but that's, I mean, you guys are paying about what we're paying here in Missouri. All right, Lizawi Frigile, that must be Italian. You better believe it is, girl. Okay, 98 Thugs Bunny. So what do you do? Everyone pointing out the obvious with no solutions. So what do you do? Everyone pointing out the obvious, but no solutions. Okay, well, my name's Eric Wilkin. I own the Resplendent Crow here in St. Louis, Missouri. We are a fine furniture boutique company, right? And so what we do is we put out about 500 pieces a year. We're an all-American-based company. We make American furniture with American hardwoods, plywoods. We sell to American customers, right? And I talk about this as someone who actually owns a real American business. Did start a small business, right? Someone who never graduated high school and figured out how to get really good at making furniture and turned it into a business. And so when I talk about things, that's the standpoint that I have. I didn't go to Harvard. My daddy didn't have money. I didn't, get my MBA. I didn't do any of that stuff. I didn't follow the path. I followed the opposite path, and it worked out. And so I talk about it from that standpoint and to show people that, hey, you could do this. Like, you can be the dumb guy that shows up to work every day and just volunteers for everything and suddenly gets all the opportunities. It might take a couple of years, but it will inevitably happen. I'm the guy that talks about spending your time working 40 hours a week, getting good at something, whatever that is, and then spend another 20 hours a week doing it outside of the people that you work for, honing your skills, right? You get a lot better at something the more you do it. Right? And then you can potentially turn that into a business. You could potentially be the guy that instead of being the furniture maker, well, now you're the engineer. Instead of being the engineer, well, now you're the planner. Instead of being the planner, well, now you're the auditor. Instead of being the auditor, now you're the guy that's in planning, right? Now you're the guy that's doing you're being safety coordinator, right? I did that as well. It could turn into a lot of different things, right? And then there was, oh, my boss doesn't like me. Oh, so-and-so doesn't like me. Oh, I got to wait for so-and-so to quit. Oh, I'm just, it's always somebody else, right? I'm here to tell you guys that when you're there constantly volunteering, eventually that it's always somebody else becomes, oh, it's always you for every problem. It's always you for every solution. It's always you for every new opportunity. It's always you that gets all the, whatever, the fun shit, right? You get your choice of what you want to do. And I'm one of these guys, I still believe it. And if you guys don't work for one of those companies, get out of it, right? All these major corporations that people work for to go make money, again, these companies, a lot of them suck. There are some good corporations, but for the most part, they all suck. Go work for a small business. Go work for someone where you can be seen. Go work for someone where you're not a number. Go work for someone that will actually pay you a real salary. And if you can't find that company, I don't know what to tell you. But again, this is who I am. This is what I talk about. And again, as someone who actually makes real American products in America, using American materials with American employees, selling to Americans, I want that for more people. So that's who I am. That's what I do. And when I talk about solutions, I talk about solutions from that standpoint, And the easiest solution in this Iran conflict is get the fuck out of there. We got problems to deal with at home. If the Middle East wants to blow itself up, Israel wants to go nuke everyone so it can expand to the greater Israel project, I don't care. Pull out of Ukraine. Get out of Ukraine. Okay, if Russia wants to take over Ukraine, Ukraine wants to fight back, great. If Europe wants to fight Russia, great. That's Europe's problem. Okay, Donald Trump ran on getting us out of NATO, right? You guys notice that we're not out of NATO yet? Trump talked shit to NATO for most of his career, and then when it came time for him to go fuck up the Suez Canal, he then says, hey, Europe, come help me. Even though I've been talking shit on you guys for the last, the majority of my life, here, come help me, okay? This is not how you gain friends. This is not how you negotiate. But this is what our president does. And again, all the lackeys on X and on cable news just lap this shit up. Like, oh, look at this. They fucked around and found out. Oh my God, the European Union, man, they're really getting it now. It's like, no, we created this problem, guys. We cannot create a problem and then demand somebody else fixes it. It's the definition of retarded insanity. And again, only a megalomaniac can do this, right? Only a guy that has absolute power can do this. No person in the real world can operate this way. So anyway, I see the problem for what it is, and I think a lot of people see the problem. They're just unwilling to speak up about it. They're unwilling to say the uncomfortable truth, and it's too bad. We need more people that are willing to speak up. Okay, sorry guys, I think I Guess who are Matt? Okay, comment on why you feel that way. Yes, thank you very much, Titan. I appreciate it. All right. Hey, Titan, quick question, dude. So when I talk about business owners and selling to people, do you think that most people understand what it takes to keep a business going? Like, I think a lot of people think that like sales just roll in and then they come into work every day. There's always something to do. It's like that work just falls out of the sky like manna from heaven, and the business owner just has the money. I don't think they understand on the back end what it takes to generate the sales. I'm curious, how easy was it for you to, I remember you said you had an asphalt company. How easy was it for you to generate sales? I know you said I don't know if your wife did the sales or if you did the sales, but I'm curious. Okay, GK Reb 663. I think you've been here before. Cool. Show some respect to women, man. Again, I got lots of respect for women, dude. Again, I wouldn't have my business without my wife, so I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. And again, we've got a lot of people that like if you say any bad thing about anyone, suddenly you're like an ist. You're a racist. You're a misogynist. You're a sexist. Whatever it might be. And again, it's tiring. Okay, this is a Tariff use. Okay, Trump's playing 40 chess with the pasta salad while the kids run to get him a new diaper. Yeah, I don't know what you're saying there, dude. But again, everyone says this 40 chess thing. Again, I don't think it's that complicated. Again, we could talk about the imperial wishes of Trump. I've literally got that pulled up, so we could talk about imperialism if you guys want. I'm not opposed. I know I need to get into the bulk of my conversation, but I try and spend some time going through the comments. Okay, so you guys want to talk about the imperial, where Trump's going, his 4G chess plan. Okay, so let's game out Trump's the rest of his term, right? Where's Trump going if he currently does or continues to do what he's currently doing? Okay, we'll play that out. Let's read Mike's comment, and then we're going to start talking again about our topic today. All right, Mike Cherry, 2075, good old question from Canada. If you have 400 million people and only 77 million voted for the numbnuts, where did 333 million votes go? Okay, well, you got to think about, there's a cutoff, again, so you got to immediately get rid of at least half the population. I mean, at a minimum, right? So what's that take us down to? 200 million? Okay, well, then you got to parse out not everybody votes. This isn't COVID. COVID, we saw the most amount of people vote, I think, in the history of America. Because, again, we had this thing called mail-in voting, right? And, again, this is one of the things that we're fighting about right now, and I don't want to get into that. But if you parse that out, you're talking 200 million people, right? Okay, well, then let's just say half, right? Or excuse me, let's just say half vote for Democrat, half vote for Republican. That means 100 million apiece. Okay, now you got to parse out the people that don't vote. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't vote, dude. So the numbers kind of make sense, So I can see 40 to 50 million people that are able to vote not voting. Okay, that's 25% of all the people in America. The numbers jive, Mike. So okay, let's game this out, right? What's going to happen? Where's Trump going, right? Let's go through them. And again, I use Grok a lot, so that I get a better picture of kind of what's happening in our world today. So let's look at this, okay? So based on what's happened right now, okay, basically what we're looking at here is Latin America becomes the backyard empire, right? So we're basically going to use Latin America for whatever we need, whether that's labor, whether that's resources, whether that's manufacturing, whether that's people to come up here and be our gardeners, process our meat, right? Build our houses, right? We're basically going to go in there, we're going to use these people like we do a lot of people, and it's going to make it better for you, okay? Again, maybe you can spend another 20 years going and getting that college degree, so that you can make some money. Meanwhile, they're going to bring everyone in here to do the work or send the work to the third world, which is the opposite of what Trump ran on, by the way, okay? But that's clearly what he's doing, okay? So we're going to use these people to do all this kind of stuff. Again, we just snatched the leader out of Venezuela. Again, to me, this is an impeachable offense, but that's what we did. And so we're going to get control of the oil because, again, you guys love cheap energy. You got no fucking money, but you love cheap energy. You got no fucking money, but you love cheap meat, right? You love cheap houses. You love when the wetback does the work that you used to do prior to 2001 when we sent all the work to the third world and then sent all you guys to college and told you you're going to go work in an office, okay? How's that working out? All right, so that's part of what this guy's going to do, all right? This Greenland grab thing. Again, Trump talks shit. We're going to go snatch Greenland. Trump's crazy enough. He gets high enough on his own supply. He'll do it, right? And the truth is that America could protect it. Like, there's nothing NATO can do. Are you fucking kidding me? There's nothing Russia could do. There's nothing anyone could do if America decided that they want to snatch Greenland. But again, we're above that as a country. We're not one of these low-rent, gutter-seeking people. We're not like that. But Trump is. So maybe he goes and snatches Greenland, okay? Middle East. What's the Middle East endgame? Trump honestly believes that if you go and take care of Iran, that suddenly there's going to be peace in the Middle East. Well, guess what, guys? Is there peace in Iraq? No. Is there peace in Afghanistan? No. How about Syria? I don't think so. What about Yemen? How's that place? That place is fucked. What about Sudan? Fucked. Okay? Every place we go. Libya. How'd that work out in Libya for Gaddafi? fucked, okay? There is no reason to think that taking over Iran is going to do everything. But oh my God, Iran is the center of it all. It's the head of the snake. We should have started in Iran, and then everyone would have fallen in line. Full of shit, guys. But again, if you listen to Fox News, you listen to the people on X, this is what they want you to believe. This is where Trump's going. It's not going to work, okay? The Chinese containment, okay? Again, Trump ran on massive tariffs on China, right? He's going to contain China with massive tariffs, right? Because again, contrary to popular belief, guys, you know who built up China? You know who made China what it is? You did. And again, people hate it when I say this, but again, when all the corporations sent the work over to China, what happened? That allowed the corporations and everyone to be bamboozled by the idea of going to college. You're going to be a knowledge worker, and you're going to be a service worker. You're going to be a designer. You're going to be an engineer. You're going to be a DEI officer. They gave you this illusion of this world that doesn't exist. It only exists because you use slave labor in another country, whether it's China or Vietnam. You guys love communism and slave labor. Like, again, as a country that's supposed to promote democracies, like, we sure love communism, okay? Now, Trump ran on massive tariffs, okay? How's that going? Do you guys, you guys want to know a solution, okay, to bringing the work back to America? All right, so Trump ran on massive tariffs, okay? On April 1st, Liberation Day, right? We put a 50% tariff on China. What happened? The market flipped the fuck out. My industry, Restoration Hardware, which is the king daddy of furniture makers, their stock was cut in half in 3 days. Why? Because the value is in the cheap labor, guys. All the value in our stock market is in cheap labor or government contracts, okay? Now, did Trump put those tariffs in place? No, he cut them in half. He bitched out, he tacoed, okay? Well, then the Supreme Court struck down his tariffs, all right? So what tariffs did he put on China? They got 15% tariff, and they got the tariffs from his first administration, which are still in place, which puts tariffs on things over there about 15%. Some things are as high as 50%, okay? Trump was supposed to increase tariffs up to 100% January 1st of this year. Did that happen? Nope. Didn't happen, okay? So Trump hasn't done what he said he was going to do, okay? He's got a whole nother plan, guys, and guess what? You ain't involved, right? Again, taking over the Middle East, is that going to help you guys? Is that going to give you more jobs? Is peace in the Middle East going to help you to be able to pay to have kids, okay? We got no fucking people having kids in this country. Fertility in this country is 1.4 replacement for every woman, okay? When the boomers were around, it was 3. Okay, we're not having kids anymore, okay? Is stability in the Middle East going to convince people to have children? Okay. When I talk to you guys about Trump's plan, when Trump talks about places like NATO, talks about the Middle East, talks about China, all these kind of places, guess what they have in Europe, and they have in Israel, and they have in the Middle East that you guys don't have? Universal healthcare, universal childcare. All these countries, they promote young people having children, okay? You guys get none of it. You're paying for it with your military dollars. All the money that we send to the Department of Defense, which can't pass an audit, by the way, hasn't passed an audit in 8 years. All that money we send there protects Europe, protects Israel, so they can have all the shit that you guys don't get, okay? Now, China. We built up China. American corporations and our government built up China to be our greatest ally at this point. China is the only other worldly superpower that we have in the world, right? And again, we're acting like China's not a problem right now. It's all about the Middle East. We're trying to secure energy resources. We're trying essentially to get control of all the energy so that China has to align closer with Russia. We can then create this China-Russia relationship, and then maybe we can take these guys out and start a world war to become the supreme nation, right? The supreme country, to become Rome, to become Alexander the Great, one of these kind of people, Genghis Khan. Like, this is what this guy is trying to do. And I'm not for it. I don't think it's necessary. Just bring the work back to America. Cut these people off. If China wants to, sell its shit to another part of the world, let them. It's okay. Again, the market is here in America, guys. Again, America pays 30 to 50% more for everything that we buy from around the world, and we buy more of it. China will go broke trying to sell to Europe. China will go broke trying to sell to Russia. China doesn't have enough money in their own country for their people to buy shit. They're not a consumer nation like America is. And again, people don't seem to understand this. Like, America is the place to be. Trump ran on America being the market for everybody to buy shit, and more importantly, to sell shit. And he's tacoed on it, guys, and it's a massive problem. Like I said, and I keep saying it, and again, I lose people when I say this, but you're all going to end up on welfare, guys. You're all going to end up on high-value UBI, as Elon calls it, right? It's scary times, wildly scary times, guys. Okay, Okay, so anyway, so Trump essentially, we went over kind of where Trump's going with his imperialistic ways. Okay, so now what happens this year, or excuse me, what happens next year? Okay, so what Trump's going to do is looking for hemispherical dominance, right? So he wants to essentially corral all of Mexico, right? And we know this, or excuse me, all of South America. We know this because he started out in Venezuela, right? That cartel leader that was killed in Mexico, we probably had a hand in that, okay? Trump's talking about going into Cuba right now. Trump wants to go take Cuba, which means he's probably then going to want to go to Haiti, right? After that, he's going to dip back into Mexico. He's going to be going down. He's going to take out all the cartel members. He's going to get that shine bomb chick, to again be more compliant to the American ways, I might put it. He's going to get all these countries. We're going to end up going down to Brazil. And wait till we try and get to Brazil, guys. Wait. I mean, you guys know this thing called the BRICS? Like, imagine when we try to go down to Brazil, a nation that actually has some money, right? A nation that actually has some real partnerships, right? They're trying to create their own currency, right? They're trying to move away from the petrodollar, which keeps America in power, by the way. They're trying to move away from that. Wait till we try and go down to Brazil. Mexico is not going to be a problem. Panama is not going to be a problem. We talked about Roosevelt yesterday, created the Panama Canal. Wait till he gets to some of these other countries down there. Argentina, again, we've already got a foothold in Argentina, but this is Trump's game plan, guys. He wants to solidify this hemispheric power. And again, America wants to rule it all, which again, if he ran on that, I'm okay with it. But you got to tell people, So he's completely changing what he wants to do, all right? All right, so companies like, in 2027, companies like Russia and China are probably going to deepen their ties and will remain anti-USA. Trump's, again, going to try and take over all these nations. Trump's going to push us away from NATO, right? Again, try and stabilize the Middle East, but then he's going to take us out of NATO, which is going to be interesting. Domestic blowback, so things like U.S. casualties and Iran proxies. We got things like gas prices going up. We got inflation coming back. Again, inflation, guys, is going to be 5 to 7% at the end of the year. If this thing keeps up, again, Trump was supposed to help with inflation. He's literally moving us in the wrong direction. He's going Joe Biden style here. Not good. War fatigue erodes support, midterm losses. Democrats are going to get power, and it like the direction this guy is moving, it's all bad. It's all bad. He was winning. Like, Trump could have won the midterms by running on the thing that the people elected him to do. He doesn't want to do it. He has his own plan. He didn't run on this plan, guys. And this is the thing that I just cannot get people to wrap their heads around. It makes no sense to me that people don't understand this. So anyway, if you guys are in the stream, you like this kind of content, hit the like button, add to the discussion. We're up to 29 likes. I like to get most of our streams up to around like 50 likes. Hit the like button, guys. Keep this thing going. All right. The last thing, all right, what if Trump gets what he wants, right? What happens if this guy creates the hemispherical hegemon that he wants, right? He gets stability in the Middle East, right? He gets China and Russia to get closer together. He pulls us out of NATO, right? How does this help America, guys? Where does this take this country? Like, what is the end game, right? As business owners, we tend to look at what's happening today. We look at what's happening this month. We look at what's happening in 1 to 3 years, and we look at what's happening in 3 to 5 years, right? Where do we want to go? Where is Trump trying to take this country? How is that going to help the average American? Okay? All right, so if Trump's successful, Trump declares the American century restored, right? Again, looks great, sounds great. All right, U.S. controls key resources like oil, right? Maybe you got Greenland minerals, the Panama Canal. China's contained. Iran's neutralized. Europe paying more for defense. He leaves office with a legacy of raw power projection. Okay. Did you vote for that? Did you vote for raw power projection, right? When someone like me, who's a lifelong Trump supporter, comes in and says, we got to get this guy out of office, right? Did you vote for this? Because I sure as shit didn't. I didn't vote for any of this. This is not what I think is going to make this country better. This is not what I think is going to make the world better. This is not what I think is going to make more people in the rest of the world love America, want to be like America. I don't think it's going to do it, okay? Other things, right? What if it backfires? So overreach leads to quagmires, right? Instability in Iran, right? Latin American pushback, right? Economic pain, right? We all pay for it, right? Things like recession. The political collapse. Again, more division between Democrats and Republicans. Division between MAGA, American First, Democrat liberals, neocons, all these kind of different factions. Maybe we end up in that kind of a situation. Democrats sweep the 2028 midterms or 2026 midterms or 2028 elections, right? Trumpism discredited as reckless imperialism, okay? The movement that we've all been working for the last 10 years, right, will be completely forgotten and will be thought of as a massive failure, okay? I don't want that. I didn't vote for that. I didn't vote for imperialism. I don't think that we should just go at it alone. Get on board the American train or we're going to crush you. We're going to grind your bones up and we're going to feed it to your fucking children unless you do what we tell you to do, okay? We're not going to do that. I don't want that. I didn't vote for that. I don't know if you guys voted for that. I don't know if you guys like, because, your life is so bad, you feel like you need to take it out on some other poor country. Like, I don't think that way. I've never thought that way as an American, but apparently that's what we're going to do. America rights wrongs. America doesn't project its power and its might, tell everyone you got to do it the way we do it. We don't do that. America is plenty big. We got tons of real estate in this country. We're fine. Trump doesn't want to do that because it's hard to take care of the domestic issues. He wants to go do the American projection thing. So it's bullshit, okay? So what's the most likely path of all this stuff, right? The most likely path, according to Grok, is partial success, right? So territorial economic gains in the Americas, right? Iran weakened but not toppled, right? China contained but not broken. U.S. overstretched, debt higher, alliances frayed. Trump claims victory, but the empire is brittle, okay? So again, you continue to pay your taxes, the debt continues to rise, the Fed continues to print money, the value of your dollar goes down, right? Because America doesn't want to balance its budget, because America's not working on containing its debt, the debt to GDP ratio continues to climb to approach 130%, which is where almost every empire collapses. And America is an empire. The only country that hasn't collapsed is Japan. Okay, every other one has collapsed. Okay, will America not collapse? I don't know, but it means that we just keep going on like we've been going. And again, that's not what I voted for. I don't know if you guys voted for this. So again, when I say, I used to consider myself to be very MAGA, but clearly I'm America first. Donald Trump is not America first. He's MAGA, whatever the fuck that means, right? So anyway, so that's the most likely path. I don't know what you guys think about this. Let's dig into comments, guys, and let's keep going. So we're at an hour. We're doing good. All right, we got lots of comments here, guys. I appreciate all you guys being here today. Again, hit the super chat, hit the super gift button if you want your message read right away. All right, Iran was not a threat. I don't think that Iran was a threat. And again, I would have been willing to take the chance. Like, again, it doesn't affect me. I don't want to hear about it. Now, if Iran was shooting missiles at America, we could have that discussion. But never happened, But again, we'll never know. So, okay, let's see. This says turbid used. Iran's nuke has been the ability to shut down the Strait of Hormuz. 100%, man. And again, you guys go on Google or go on YouTube and just Google Strait of Hormuz. You guys will see videos from 4, 6, even 10 years ago talking about what would happen if Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz. Okay, so again, the fact that Trump's like, oh, we had no idea. No one knew this was going to happen. No, I don't know we didn't see this. I didn't know. Okay, it's the guy. He's such a liar. Okay, Ninja Raging Potatoes. Great name, dude. Okay, Ninja Raging Potatoes, and I bet the president of Israel is in the files too. I don't know if he's in the files, but again, there's clearly a link between Mossad, our CIA, our FBI, and this wealthy class of people. There's something there that creates this honeypot blackmail type thing. And again, more of that information is going to come out, and it wouldn't surprise me. And again, if you guys follow that Professor Zhang guy who's real popular right now on all the streams, that guy believes that Trump could be compromised. Like, blackmail is absolutely a possibility. This guy, he doesn't specifically say the Epstein files, but I think that's the only thing. But what you have to understand about Donald Trump that I don't hear enough people talk about is the guy's daughter converted to Judaism, and his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, is wildly more influential than anybody understands. This guy is a personal friend to Benjamin Netanyahu, and most of his business dealings, look up his company. I believe it's called is it the Affinity Group? I think is what it is. And again, most of his dealings are in the Middle East, right? He got something like $2 billion from Saudi Arabia after Trump left office. I mean, this guy is wildly connected to the Middle East, and I don't think that we voted for that. I just don't, man. Okay, let's see. Trump says, if you believe Trump can run in 28, you must hate our nation's constitution. Yeah, and again, Trump is. Again, do you guys want to talk about the 25th Amendment? Do you want to talk about all the reasons that Trump could potentially be removed from office? If you guys, I don't necessarily believe that the guy is going to be removed. There is chatter, but again, I don't think it's going to happen. But the guy's a megalomaniac. And again, I didn't vote for this. The guy has to do the will of the people. He has to do what he was elected to do. He can't go rogue and go do his own thing and then claim that he was doing this the entire time. The media and X can't just look past what this guy ran on and just be like, okay, well, I guess we're going in this direction now. Charge! I don't think that way. So okay, the American Gunsmith, great name, dude. The American Gunsmith. I wish that Democrats would actually choose leftist candidates rather than right-leaning. Okay, well, and I don't know exactly what you're talking about there, American Gunsmith. Let us know exactly what you're talking about. But I like your name, man. Like I said, I'm a big 2A guy. Okay, the Democrat Party is a right-wing party at this point in time. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I understand what you're saying there. Yeah, I don't know. I think that the Democrats went pretty far to the left, guys. Like I said, as a business owner, seeing what they did for taxes, what they do on regulations. I'm a big regulations guy. You guys know what it takes to start a paint company in America? Are you fucking kidding me? You know what it takes to hire an employee in America? If you're a large corporation, guess what? You don't have to do any of that stuff. You can just send all the work to China, right? One of the reasons they let cheap foreign labor into this country is because of all the regulations around meat packing. All the regulations, this is called the FDA, guys. All the regulations around building furniture in America, do it in Vietnam, because guess what? There's no EPA, there's no OSHA, right? This is one of the reasons that a lot of corporations send that work to the third world and bring everyone in here, is because the government loves to keep layering on regulations. Guys, go look at the Code of Federal Regulations, okay? We used to have something like 5,000 regulations in this country back in like the 50s. It's over to something like 48 or 58,000 regulations today. Like, we built the Empire State Building in a year, back in the 20s, right? We can't build a fucking bridge in Baltimore. It's been 2 years since that bridge was hit by that barge. We can't do anything in this country because of Democrat policies. And again, specifically regulations. So again, what you're saying about they're all right-leaning, I'm not sure what you're saying there. Keep putting stuff in there. I think it's a great point, man. I'd love to go back and forth with you about it. The president doesn't care. The president can't have overreach unless Congress is gone. Well, again, Congress doesn't seem to have anything to say about this war. Have you guys noticed that? And again, a lot of people will say, oh, it's not a war. This is just an incursion. It's a conflict, okay? Put the shoe on the other foot, guys. What would happen if someone came in and snatched our president? Would you guys consider that an act of war? What if another country came in here and said, you know what, we got to destabilize them, or we got to destabilize, or we got to take America's weapons, because guess what? America can't be trusted with those weapons. They're launching missiles at our country, which America launches missiles at everyone, by the way. We might consider that an act of war. But again, when we do it, it's not an act of war, right? Rules for thee, but not for me, okay? Do you guys understand the hypocrisy here? Again, we love capitalism. We love democracy, right? We want to promote democracy around the world, okay? Well, where is all of our shit made? It's this thing, it's called the CCP, guys, the Chinese Communist Party, okay? Where's all of our furniture made? 75% of all the fucking cabinets we build are made in Vietnam. Okay, what's Vietnam? Oh my God, it's a socialist country, okay? We are such a hypocritic fucking country. It is wild, guys. And again, I don't think people see the big picture of the lie that America has become, okay? When we voted for Trump, we wanted to get rid of the lie. We are voting to remove the hypocrisy by bringing the work back to America. You want to promote American people? You want to promote American business? You can't make your shit in China. You can't make your shit in communist countries. Because again, we're all about capitalism and democracy. Okay, you can't do it. Oh, but what about all the cheap shit? Well, here's a fucking idea. Why don't you stop buying all the cheap shit, so then you can have some American workers that make American wages, right? Then the cost of everything isn't so bad. And again, I lose people when I talk like this, but again, we've all been sold this massive pile of bullshit. The only reason you guys can afford to go to college is because you're paying $1.50 an hour to some, guy in China that's putting your iPhone together, right? So then the company like Apple can use that delta, that $1.50 an hour they're paying them, the $31.50 they should be paying you, and they can use that money to hire branding people, to hire, ROI specialists, data analysts, DEI coordinators, cultural coordinators, safety coordinators. These are all bullshit jobs, guys. The only real work in this country, the only real work out there is making shit, selling shit. That's what the work is. It's not that complicated, But again, when you pay slaves to make all your guys' shit, when you pay socialist and communist countries to make all your guys' shit, super easy to hire a person that with blue hair and fucking nose ring, all they care about is LGBTQ rights. It's super easy to hire that person. Because again, it's a bullshit job, because you have all that money from the slave labor that comes from the third world, okay? Again, that's the country I want to live in. Fine, I've got no problems with that. You guys want to give amnesty to all the third world people that have come into this country. I'm okay with that, but follow the fucking rules and be honest about it. That's all I ask for. Okay, all right, more comments. Let me see where I'm at in the comments, guys. I tend to fall behind. Holy shit, I'm way behind. Okay, let's move back in the comments here. All right, this is Anthony Land Echo 9880. Does it work? I'm not sure what you're saying there. Let's see if I can go back to one of your comments and see if Japanese will snap back. Japanese are going to do just fine, man. Japanese are doing okay. The problem with Japan is they don't have any kids. Same thing we got problems with here. But guess what? Japanese have a lot of programs to have children, but it's still not working. And again, Japan's a wealthy, very wealthy country. They don't want immigrants in that place. Japan is for the Japanese. And I think they're slowly changing. They're kind of moving into getting more cultures in there, more races, whatever you want to call it, more countries of people in there. I think they're slowly starting to do it, but they're one of the ones that push back pretty hard, So I don't know if it's going to work for them. Okay. This is Gooch Jenkins, U5N, war crimes to cover sex crimes is crazy, man. 100%, man. They got to let those Epstein files out, man. I think Trump's in there. I think a lot of his cabinet's in there. That fucking piece of shit. The Secretary of Commerce, that Howard Lutnick, like what a fucking douchebag. But again, no one's talking about that when you got a big war going on. When they're sending the Marines over to Iran, talk about sending more troops over there. Every morning it seems like I wake up and there's another group of people going over there to secure that strait. So again, no one's talking about Epstein. No one's talking about all the nasty people around Trump, the potential pedophiles around that guy. All right, Iran has 2,500-mile missile surprise. And again, wasn't a problem before, and again, but when you go in there and you attack a sovereign country, when you go in there and destabilize that country, you're going to find out all kinds of shit. But guess what? Wasn't a problem before. And again, like 2,500-mile missiles, like I don't give a shit. That's NATO's problem, right? That's Europe's problem. That's Israel's problem. That's every country that wants to destabilize their region. That's their problem. That is not our problem. Okay, and guess what? We're $39 trillion in debt. Do you guys not care about money anymore? Is money just a thing of the past? Because the government sure seems to care about money when it's your time to pay. Like the IRS sure seems to come knock on my door, wants my fucking payment. But again, when I say, well, hey, dude, what about your budget? Why don't you manage your budget? Why don't you have your departments pass some fucking audits? Why don't you audit your Fed? Why don't you audit Fort Knox? Why don't you audit the Department of Defense? Oh, shut up, taxpayer. Shut up, wagey. Shut up, you fucking idiot. You didn't go to college. What could you possibly know? You're an idiot. Listen to the experts, okay? Again, what are we doing in this country? 2,500 missiles. I don't give a fuck. I could care less. We got problems to work on here. This is what we voted for this guy to do. And again, you guys are all distracted by this bullshit, and I'm fucking over it, man. I ain't gonna have it. I ain't playing those games, man. Okay, he won't run. He's just gaslit. Yeah, and I think Trump does a lot of that. This is a Robert Coleman. Good comment. And again, Titan was talking about that. Again, I think that if Trump tried to run for another term, it wouldn't work. He could if we were in a major conflict, which might be the goal, guys. What do you think about that? Do you think Trump might be trying to get us into a massive world war so that he can then run for a third term? Because we've seen that happen before. So maybe that's the plan. I don't know. Kristen's in here. Kristen, man, I hope you're a woman. I love when we get women in here. Okay, Kristen, Biden, yes. Diego Garcia did not get hit. I know. And we don't even know who launched that. Again, there's reports that Israel might have done that. I don't know. Okay, let's see. FSK is being rebuilt. Is that one of the nuclear plants there in Iran? I don't know what's going on there. Okay, and again, the funny thing about it, guys, is they always talk about, oh God, Iran's rebuilding. They're rebuilding this. Everyone's rebuilding. Okay, we can't build a fucking bridge that already existed in Baltimore in 2 years. We're the greatest country on the face of the earth. We got the most. Money means nothing. We can spend anything for anything. We got the best regulations. We got the best OSHA standards, the safest air, the safest drinking water. We got the best of everything here in America. You're telling me that Iran is going to rebuild a nuke super fast, right? But we can't even build a fucking bridge here. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, you don't understand the logic, the hoops you have to jump through in order to do it. So basically what you're saying is Iran can build a nuclear reactor in 3 to 6 months, living in caves essentially with with missiles raining down on them, the most powerful military in the world raining down. We can't build a fucking bridge here. That logic doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense. So super chat coming in. We got $20 from somebody. Thanks for the big super chat, as that old Nick Fuentes kid says. I love it. So $20 coming in from who's this? Xanatos. I hope I'm saying your name right. Xanatos Gambit. Interesting name, man. I'm a comic book guy. I don't know if Gambit's your thing. I love Gambit. Okay, let's see. My wife is from the Philippines, and due to Trump's lying, get her an ITIN without being a citizen, so get her tax bracket to 12%. The only good thing for me that he did, haha, so happy about that. She never been to USA and pays taxes. Yeah, man, like I said, my wife's from India, dude. So here, thanks for the big super chat. I think that might be the biggest super chat I've gotten so far. So I really do appreciate that. So people don't understand our immigration policy, right? And this is one of the things that people, I think, misunderstand me if they don't listen to me talk about immigration policy real quick. And Gambit, I'm going to get to your comment. we have a lot of problems letting the third world in here, right? So one of the things we have here is WashU University. I believe it gets the second most research money in America. It's a massive research college. It's literally China. It's little China here, guys, because that's the only people that go to this college, right? Because they're paying full price, right? They're paying tons of money to come in here and learn how to be scientists. They're learning about how to, create new technologies, new products, new materials. They're doing it here in America using our university system. My wife is from India, right? So we have got to fix how we let people into this country, whether that's a different kind of H-1B system, whether that's a different visa program. When immigrants come into this country, they are taxed, but the truth is that most immigrants, when they make it into America, they can't work. Their spouse can work. The visa holder can work, right? They can bring their spouse and their kids in, but the spouse cannot work for something like 2 years. It's a really fucking weird system that we have here. Okay, but everyone, of course, has to pay taxes. I always say this: if we want to let the third world in here, we want to give everyone amnesty, we can do it, but we got to vote for it. Congress has to pass a bill, right? Pass an act, whatever, resolution, whatever they want to call it, and it has to get done. But we don't do that. We just constantly look the other way, and we let the system devolve into chaos. Okay, so Gambit, what do I want to say? So let's read your comment one more time. My wife's from the Philippines, and due to Trump's line, gets her ITI, and I'm not sure what I guess it's a tax identification number. I believe that's what you're saying. Without being a citizen, so get my tax bracket is gets my tax bracket to 12%. And the only good thing is for me is that he did. Haha, so happy about that. She's never been in the USA and pays taxes. Yeah, well, it's like I said, I don't know exactly what you're saying there from the tax side. I just know that the immigration system in this country is broken. I don't know a ton about the Philippines. My VA that my wife uses is from the Philippines. Apparently, that's a big industry there. I'm curious, dude, what are you here for? Let me know what you're doing in this country. I want to know exactly what you're here for. So you're basically saying that you're doing something. I don't know if you're working remote or if you're in here on a visa program. I don't know how that works for you. Let me know what industry you're in. I'm very curious. You're saying that your wife isn't here, but she essentially has to pay taxes, which is kind of fucked up, if I'm being completely honest. But give me some more information, man. I'd love to comment for you. Again, I appreciate the big super chat, dude. Okay, Brenta 2634, no idea what regulation does or how it works. And Gambit, I'm going to come back. I'm just literally going to scroll through my comments, looking for your comments. So put your comment, and then I'll make sure I interact with you as quickly as possible. Cruttermonk 985, Trump brought no work to America. Trump did bring work to America. Absolutely brought work to America. The question is, was it meaningful, right? Did it actually move the needle, right? Did it convince people that, hey, going to college and getting some bullshit degree, and you're paying for it, by the way, is still better than working for an American company right out of high school, not going to college, getting paid a salary, growing that salary to be worth as much or more than going to college and paying for a college degree? That's really the question. And is that happening here in America? I believe that it is, right? When you allow more people to start businesses in America, when you cut the third world off and make corporations and businesses use the people that are here instead of bringing the third world in here, does that help Americans, right? Because that's what Trump ran on, okay? Now, is that happening? I don't believe that is happening because, again, he tacoed on mass deportations, he tacoed on the tariffs, right? And he tacoed on the kicking fucking people out of here that are all here on visa programs, right? He didn't do any of that, right? So I don't believe that people that are blue collar, that are not super educated, and that are average are seeing a better way of life. This is why we have this thing called the K-shaped economy happening. You got a ton of people up here on the top of the K thinking this is fucking great. It's never been so good. And everyone else here is like, hey, wait a minute, I can't make enough money to buy a home. I can't make enough money to buy a car. Like my mortgage payment keeps going up, but my wage isn't going up. My property taxes keep going up, but my wage isn't going up. So Trump, I don't think, is doing what he said he was going to do. He's making it good. If you got money, you're doing great. If you're educated and super good at what you do, you're crushing it. If you're a wagey, guy that just got really good at something and figured out how to do it, we're doing great. But the average person, the person that's young, they're fucked. Trump is not helping them. He's not doing what he ran on, which I believe would make this country better. So I don't think that we're getting what we voted for, and I don't think whatever Trump's trying to do is working. So okay. Sorry guys, comments are moving. It's hard for me to keep up with this guy. I'm gonna look for more comments from Gambit here. Gambit, dude, I really do appreciate your comment. Let's see if Gambit added more to his conversation. I'm looking, dude. I'm looking. Hold on 1 second, guys. Bear with me. We're going to dig back into comments. I appreciate everyone being here this morning. If you guys are in the chat, hit the like button, add the discussion like you're doing. We got lots of comments in here this morning, and this is freaking awesome. I appreciate everybody being here. This is a good place to talk. We talk here. We talk uncensored. We talk about taboo topics. We talk about things that really matter to people. We don't pander to advertisers here. We're not pandering. We don't need to make money here on YouTube. We just talk about this shit because we really care about it. So again, I appreciate everyone participating. Sorry guys, I'm just going through and see if Gambit added anything more in here. I want to make sure. Okay, Gambit says, see, I know you're MAGA. I am not lib. I donate to people I like. I am neither lib nor Republican. Good for you, dude. Gambit. That's how I think that I'm. I said I think I'm more in the middle than most people give me credit for. I just want the rules followed. I want to bring manufacturing back to America. I want people to be able to have what I had. When I was 21 years old, I bought my first home as a non-educated furniture maker that worked in aerospace. That's all I did. I didn't have a special degree. I didn't come from money. I didn't follow the path. I was able to make that money because I worked for an American company that sold American products to American people. And that's what I talk about on this channel. That's what I push on this channel. They didn't buy all their shit from China and then bring it back here, mark it up 10 times, and then sell it to everyone and get rich. That's not what they did. You know, and that's why a lot of the companies that I work for, they weren't rich. These weren't companies that were just minting money. Yes, I'm sure there were people that were making a fat stack of cash. But again, these were good paying jobs for people that didn't have tons of education, that were just normal, average, ordinary people. And we got to work on the average, ordinary people in this country. Otherwise, it's just going to be the people that are really good at what they do and then the people that suck. Everyone in the middle is going to be fucked. And we're all going to end up on UBI. And I don't want that for this country, you know. So, Gambit, you seem like you're a good dude. You seem like you got you got a good head on your shoulders. And again, I'm curious about your visa, man. I'm curious about I wish I could do a call-in show. I wish I could literally just talk to people. This typing can be kind of slow. So all right, Gambit says, you're fine. I'm about to make a bigger donation. Again, I'm not looking to pander for your donations, dude. I want to know more about what it is that you're doing. I want to know more about what it is that brought you to America. Because I'm one of these people that, again, I spent a bunch of time in New Zealand. My wife's from India. I've got people from 5 different countries that work for my business. I've got people from Croatia. I've got people from Syria. I've got people from, of course, Latin America. I'm the only white guy at my company. And I believe that people come to America because it's the greatest place on earth for people that want to come from the bottom and work their way up. I mean, you can literally be, Machine Gun Kelly has that line, God damn it, I wish I could remember. So it's the rap lyric about, one day you're driving a Taurus and the next day you're driving a Porsche, and it's like, anyway, America's a place where you can be somebody and coming from nothing. And it's one of the things I think makes this place so great. And it's literally possible here. It's not possible in a lot of other places, And again, people want to be in America because of what they can be, what they can become. The vision of, again, coming from the guy that, lives in a cardboard box to having the mega mansion, overlooking the ocean. That happens every day in this country. And that's why I think people come here. And it's something that I want for everyone. I want us to bring the best and the brightest in from everywhere. I don't want us to bring in all the bullshit people, because again, they're not trying to be, or they're not aspiring to be Elon Musk. They just want to, have kids and break bread, and that's great. But I want people to come in this country that offer something to the country. I want people to come to this country that have a dream, an idea, and want to contribute to this country. I don't want people that want to come in here and mooch off the system. I don't want people to come in here that just want to come in here for our healthcare, that want to have children here so they can get anchor babies. I don't want people to come in here, make some money, and then send it all back to the country they came from. I want people to come to this country to make it great. And Gambit, it sounds like you're one of those people, but I can't quite. I'm trying to figure it out. So you got another super chat in here, $50 super chat. Thanks, dude. Again, that's freaking really. I'm overwhelmed with the people who would give us that kind of money. It's really cool. Okay, all right. Here's a big one. I brought her documents back and filed a W-7. I was born in Kansas. I was 24% tax bracket when the claimed mass people vote illegally. One of the things mentioned was ITIN usage. When she comes up with ITIN and passport, she can work day one. Interesting. So you were born in Kansas. So okay, again, I'm trying to figure exactly what's going on. Here's the big one. I brought her documents back and filed a W-7. I was born in Kansas. I was 20% tax bracket. And when she claimed mass people vote illegally, when he claimed mass people vote illegally, one of the things mentioned was ITIN usage. When she comes up with ITIN and passport, she can work day one. So you're saying a bunch of things there. So again, I'm one of these people, I don't think illegal people vote. I don't think that this whole illegal voter thing is an issue. You might have, a few people that vote, but again, I don't think people that come here illegally, or legally give a shit about any of that. I think that, people that come from these countries that are super repressed, they come to America because they do want to vote. They want to have a voice. But I'm not sure that's what you're saying. It's like, I got to read up on whatever this ITIN thing is. Again, I'm not an immigration expert. I just know that what I'm trying to do for the people in this country, and it sounds like you're an American, if I'm being completely honest with you. I thought you were from Philippines. You came in here on visa. Now it sounds like you're an American. You were born in Kansas. Again, I lived in Kansas for 11 years. I worked for a ton of different companies, and not ton, but I worked for 3 different companies in Wichita, Kansas. And again, I got family that lives in Wichita. I have customers that are in Wichita, Kansas. So I've got a great, Kansas was literally what made me what I am today. Great freaking state. But apparently did you go to the Philippines to get your wife? Is this a mail order bride kind of situation? Because I've known a lot of people that have done that. So I'm very curious what's going on. You keep sending me super chats, and I like your content. I want to engage with it, but I'm just not quite sure. I'm going to do a quick search here on what this ITIN thing is, just so I have a little bit more information. Okay, ITN stands for Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. Okay, cool. So I have what's called the IEN, right? So this is a 9. Okay, so essentially, so your wife can pay taxes. Yeah, I get it. Okay, the ITN is issued solely for federal tax purposes. Okay, so this is not a way to vote. However, an ITIN does not authorize work in the U.S., provide eligibility for Social Security benefits, qualify someone for earned income tax rate. It serves as identification for non-tax purposes. Wow. So this is the ITIN is issued solely for federal tax purposes. It allows individuals to file U.S. federal income tax. So you can file an income tax return, but you can't work. This is kind of interesting. Report income, claim tax treaty benefits, or comply with other tax obligations, including spouses of dependents on tax returns in certain cases. However, I just authorize. So you can pay taxes, but you can't work. This is like a total contradiction in terms of, if I'm reading this correctly. You can pay taxes for Social Security even though you can't work. You can pay taxes for earned income tax credit, but you can't work. This is insane. Like I need to read into this thing. So this is fucking wild, man. So okay, all right, well, dude, like I said, you're exactly what I'm talking about. Though you're paying taxes, you're paying good taxes, and again, when I talk about like voting doesn't matter in this country anymore, we're literally in a situation where, again, you vote Republican, you pay your 22.5% in income taxes. You vote Democrat, you're paying your 22.5% in income taxes. Man, I'm trying to follow exactly what you're saying there, dude. I really appreciate your super chats, man, and we'll make sure I look for all your comments in the future. But yeah, it sounds like, the government's just leeching off of everyone. If I'm kind of getting the gist of what you're saying, this is what I'm always talking about. You got to cut the taxes off, guys. Again, I said it before, like when spouses come into this country on visa holders, they can't work. They're not even eligible to work, which is fucking insane. You'd think you'd want these people to go get a job, but apparently that competes with American workers. It's a weird system, guys. So I appreciate the comment, dude. Let's dig back into the rest of our comments and continue the chat, guys. Thanks for everyone being here. Again, I appreciate all the super chats this morning. This is really incredible. Okay, Crude Monk 95. Show us company statements about where every item you have is sourced from. I'm talking about us when we source your materials, etc. Prove that you are American made with receipts. Okay, Crude Monk. All right, let's dig in this. You guys want to know how American I am, okay? So again, when I say America first and buying things in America and using American products, all right, what people understand is that means 100% everything you buy, okay? It's impossible. Now, we could actually get to that place, but you don't want to. And this is what the idiot binary people think, right? They think, well, everything has to be this way. And if it's not exactly this way, well, then it can only be this other way. And this is an idiot's argument. This is, again, a dumb guy, never graduated high school. Even I understand how fucking retarded this argument is, okay? Most of my stuff, 70, 80, 90% of everything we make is sourced here in America. And again, I don't aim to source everything in America. It's not that hard. So when everyone tells you like, oh God, Americans can't do this, I'm calling bullshit. Oh God, you can't buy these American products, I'm calling bullshit. Okay. The truth is that most Americans don't want to. And this is the reality of the situation. It's you can, but you choose not to. And again, part of it is because you got no fucking money. You're not paid a real living wage. You're not paid a salary consummate to the country that you live in. You're paid slave wages because they let slaves come in and do the work if you don't want to make the wages they want to pay. If the corporation's business model doesn't work, instead of that corporation failing and new corporations and new businesses springing up from its ashes, right, they just bring the third world in here, or they outsource it to the third world, okay? I'm telling you guys that you can have American business, you can make things here in America. We still make stuff here in America, and not just, automated businesses. That's bullshit, guys, okay? So, here you go, dude. This is a Crude Monk. I appreciate your comment, okay? So all of my plywoods, right? All of my plywoods come from the state of Oregon. Most of them are made by Murphy. Go Google them. That's who makes. The other one is Columbia Forestry Products out of Portland, Oregon. Go Google them. And again, this is anyone that's in the furniture industry. Most of us use these kind of products. There used to be a company called Roseburg, right, which is also in Oregon. They used to make woods. Now it's Murphy. Okay, so that's who makes all my plywoods. My hardwoods come out of Indiana, Indiana, right? So the company that I buy my hardwoods from, Shaler Lumber, right? They have mills up in Missouri, right? I buy hardwood from them. Okay, my hardwood doesn't come out of Canada, right? Even though Canada is a great place to get softwoods and hardwoods, every time they claim, oh my God, we got to deal with Canada. We got to get our softwoods and hardwoods. If we buy them here in America, guess what? The price is going to go up. It's already expensive to buy shit out of Canada. Okay, Canada is not a cheap place to live. Canada is not a cheaper country to buy your shit from than America. Now, if we were buying it from Indonesia, which also has tons of lumber, it is wildly cheaper. If you buy lumber out of Russia, it is actually cheaper. But again, we don't want to deal with those people. Okay, so you can buy it out of America, which I do. We have tons of, we make more lumber than we can possibly use here in America, right? Again, I live in the Pacific Northwest, right? I'm from the Pacific Northwest. Like, forestry is a part of our high school curriculum. That's how important the industry is to the Pacific Northwest. They teach it to us in high school, okay? Like, Jesus Christ, man. So all of my hardwoods, all of my plywoods, right out here from America. Not by choice, but because it's really the only place to get that kind of stuff. You can buy the cheap shit out of Indonesia and Malaysia, right? So a lot of you guys will see this UV-coated bullshit plywood, right? Most of it's out of Malaysia. Look it up. It's called Tiger Ply. Okay, so again, when I talk about the fucking plywood and the hardwood industry, I know everything there is to know about it. You cannot tell me something that I don't know because it's my industry, okay? Now, if you want to buy a sheet of that Malaysian Tiger Bond bullshit, Tiger Ply, it's $62 a piece, or $62 a sheet, right? UV coated on both sides. This is the bullshit material you guys get out of China. This is the bullshit stuff you buy for your kitchens and your bathrooms, that cheap garbage bullshit you get from Home Depot, you get from Lowe's, you get from most places in America. It's all cheap, foreign-made shit, and that's fine. If you want to buy the American stuff, guess how much the American stuff costs, okay? You can buy an HDF, which is a form of MDF, that's much better for painting, stands up to water. You can buy that for $82 a sheet. It's made by Murphy. Sometimes people call it Plum Creek as the trade name, okay? $82 a sheet. You can buy the forestry, the Columbia Forestry Products sheet of material, also made in America. It's going to have veneer cores. It's going to have a MDF skin, and then it's going to have a sheet of maple or cherry or walnut or mahogany, whatever materials you want on the outside. It's $120 a sheet, okay? So think about it, bitch. You don't know what you're talking about. And again, what you're trying to do is you're trying to get me, oh my God, Eric, if he has to show his receipts, blah, 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 blah. Like, motherfucker, I can go over this every day because it's what I really do for a living. I'm not an expert on making shit in America. I fucking do it. I don't have a degree in how economics works. I actually fucking do it, okay? So all the paints that I buy, right, we're known for our high gloss lacquer coating. Where the fuck does all the paint come from? We think the paint comes from China? 150 gallons of Sherwin-Williams paint gets made in Baltimore, Maryland every day. Okay, that's the paint that I put on my stuff. That's all American-made paint. Now, all the tints probably come from Africa, if I'm being completely honest, right? But again, what am I supposed to do? There's no tint maker in America, not to my knowledge, but that's where my tint comes from, okay? But again, all my paint is American-made, okay? My biggest two bills are hardwood, plywood, paint, and labor, okay? So again, like, where does all my shit from? Now, it might be easier to tell you, well, where does the un-American stuff come? Bloom hinges, probably one of the best hinges. They all come from Austria. They're all brought into North Carolina, and they're assembled in North Carolina, okay? Is that an American-made product? No, it's an American assembled product, but guess what? They got a fucking factory here, which is something, okay? Now, my magnet stops that I use for most of my furniture comes from China. Again, it's a high-quality bullshit magnet that it literally comes from Amazon, someplace over in China. They always change the name of it because that's how Chinese businesses operate. When the FTC comes in and wants to, break up one of these companies that's ripping off an American product, well, then the company just changes its name and puts it back on Amazon. This is how a lot of your products that you buy on Amazon, this is where they come from. It's just companies changing their name, hopscotching from different company names to then resell their products, and it's just how it works, guys. It isn't rocket science, okay? This is where all of my stuff comes from. My tools, right, the big machines that I use I bought them all used. They're all Grizzly tools. Where does Grizzly make all their stuff? They make it in China and Taiwan. Okay. My jet tools, they're all made in Taiwan. Okay. Like I don't know what to tell you. Powermatic tools, they're all made in Taiwan. They used to be made in Tennessee. Now they're made in Taiwan. Okay. Find me an American manufacturer that makes tools. You know, maybe when I buy new machines, I'll buy those. I just bought a new CNC router. Comes from a company called Millwright. They're out of Atlanta, Georgia. American company, American machines. Okay. I don't know what you want to tell me, dude. Like again, I don't know how to. Again, you want to see my receipts? I don't have any fucking receipts that I can show you. Again, I'd be happy if you guys want to talk about the business of woodworking. I'm putting together a group. It's going to be $9.99 a month. You want to get in there and talk business? You want to talk how to start a fucking furniture company? You want to talk about how to find vendors, how to procure things in America versus buying them overseas? You want to talk about how to do labor? You want to talk about how to do advertising, marketing, all those kind of things? I'll put a group together. But again, I don't know that there's enough people that want to make that worth my while. You want to get together every Friday, Saturday, something like that, and do a live stream about it? Happy to do it. But I don't think people really care. A bunch of people just like to talk shit, okay? So anyway, there you go. All right, Gambit, okay. Again, I wish I could read more of your stuff, Gambit. Okay, all right, Titan Bruce says, visit theresplendentcrow.com and see the host work. Yeah, again, this is where I make my money, guys. I don't make my money on YouTube. I don't make my money on Super Chats. I don't make my money doing any of this stuff. I just talk to you guys about real world stuff every day as a guy that operates in the real world. I'm not an expert. I didn't go to the fucking Wharton School of Business. I don't work for some global corporation. I'm a guy that struggles to make things work, to hire. We got 9 people that work for us. I'm not some fucking guy making furniture in my garage, putting it on YouTube, trying to sell you guys t-shirts and coffee cups. Okay, so that's why people like this content. So if you guys like that kind of content, hit the like button, add to the stream. Okay, we're at an hour, guys. We're going to go to an hour 20, and then I got to get out of here. So let's keep the comments coming. See, Brenda 2634, Jesse 4868. How close was Iran to a nuclear weapon according to the IAEA? Again, the IAEA is the International Atomic Energy Administration or Agency, excuse me, and they were looking at Iran's the enrichment of their uranium, right? And I think they said that they were getting up to 60%. Obama came in, did a deal with them, and I guess it's called JCPOA, and I believe that thing was holding. Trump came in and wrapped it up. And again, if I'm not mistaken, in, what was it? What are we in here? March? Was it in February? Didn't Iran agree to give up its enriched uranium? Didn't they agree to dilute all of their uranium? And Trump didn't want to negotiate. Because again, there was never a negotiation, dude. So it doesn't even matter what the IAEA said. There was no negotiation. There was no attempting to de-escalate this thing because Israel did not want that. Plain and simple. You know, everybody wanted this war that was in a little tiny country that has 9.6 million people. Israel and Trump's backers, the people that are around Trump, the people in the Epstein files, they knew they had until November to get this thing over with because after that, these guys are never going to get to do this again. Once the Democrats get in power, this will never happen again. Once 2028 presidential election happens, this will never happen again. And the reason for this is because the boomers are dying. The neocons are all dying, guys. The geriatric centenarians that are in Congress, they're all dying. And there's no young person that supports the state of Israel. There's no young person that looks at what this little tiny country has been able to do in the Middle East and capture American legislators, American congresspeople, American businesses. No young person sees this and wants this for their country. That's why they did this. It had nothing to do with negotiating. Iran could have promised these guys their entire country on a silver platter. They still would have bombed them. And they're still going to go in there and destabilize it because, again, what Israel needs done is the Greater Israel Project. And that's what they bought and paid for, and that's what they're going to get. When Miriam Adelson gave Trump $200 million, she didn't do it out of the goodness of her heart. She didn't do it because, you know, Trump's a great guy. She did it because she said, bitch, you're going to do what I'm going to do. Here's a check. Get it fucking done. I don't care what you got to say. I don't care who you got to fuck over. I don't care what you got to do. This is the most money you're ever going to get in your life. And guess what? You're going to do my bidding, bitch. And that's what happened. So anyway. All right. Brent, thanks. All right. Jesse says, Brent, thanks. All right, Brent, great comment. This is Eden Star 5740. Why aren't people allowed to just move, work, and sell a better life? JFC, dude. You are the worst racist. Okay, well, I don't know that I'm a racist. Again, I don't know how to convince you guys I'm not a racist. Like, literally married an immigrant, like, got immigrant kids. 5 different nations work for me. Like, I don't know how else to convince you. Like, I hire Black people. Like, literally started the company with urban community around our business. Like, Again, great comment, dude. I love your comment. And again, why aren't people just allowed to just move, work, and sell? And again, this is what I push for on this channel. So I don't know. It's like you're literally talking about what I talk about on this channel all the time, and then you're calling me a racist. Like, great, way to endear yourself to someone. Okay, when Trump left the nuclear non-proliferation agreement with Iran, the IAEA was blocked from inspecting. Yeah, and again, this is another thing that people don't talk about. The non-proliferation treaty. Iran actually got its nuclear material from the non-proliferation. Again, I forget. Titan, it's the non-proliferation agreement. Again, there's a name for it, and I forget the acronym for it. But this is how Iran literally got its uranium. And part of getting that uranium and that nuclear capability for your education, for your power, for all these kind of different things, part of that is you have to let the IAEA come in and do the inspections, right? This is how it works, right? But Israel doesn't have to do any of that, right? They get the nuclear power, they get the missiles, they get the nukes, they get it all. They don't have to do any of this stuff. Iran, because they wanted this for their people in the beginning, right? And say they could have been lying about it, whatever. They got it from this treaty agreement, and that subjected them to the inspections. The minute Trump broke up this JCPOA deal, that it all went to shit, you know. And again, no one really wants to talk about that. Everyone's just like, no, they were a threat. You know, Trump's doing the right thing. No, Trump fucked us over, and you don't have to like it, but it's just the truth. And they're like, oh, but Obama gave Iran money. He gave them billions of dollars in cash. It's like, yeah, but you were able to go in and look, you know, at their nuclear program, right? You're able to go and do the inspections, like everything was working just fine. Like, no, they were doing this in a clandestine way. They were doing this in the caves. They were doing all, okay, maybe they were, I don't know. But the system was working. Well, they were a threat to Israel. They said death to America. It's like, so, like, what are we, 5? Like, you kidding me? Like, you think that you go destabilize an entire region? What do you think that they don't, like, there's not millions of people saying death to America every day? Like, get the fuck out of here. You're a child. You're an infant. Oh, we had to go do it, you know. No one says, you know, death to the Jews. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, that's between Israel and them. Death to America. We just don't care. Like, again, this does not affect us. But again, everyone is just, you know, they're so easily convinced, you know. And it's, I don't know, whatever, man. Okay, Jesse 8468. Brent, who cares? Israel is everyone by the balls anyway, but no offense taken. You are obvious, so much smarter than me. Take it easy, man. Okay. Okay, prove it, caution, it didn't happen. All right, relevant topic comments, please. Yeah, appreciate it, Titan, man. Thanks for keeping. All right, Gavin says, so I reached the ITIN, and yes, no, my family came over on the sinking ship, sister ship to the Mayflower. We transferred over. Mass the ITN marriage passport allows the work together. Okay, Gambit, I'm not exactly sure what you're saying. Again, I researched the ITI, and it sounds to me like it's basically just establishing it's establishing the visa holder to then come in, or the spouse of a visa holder to come in, by giving them an identification number that the government can use for taxes, because all the government really cares about is taxes. So if you sell something on eBay, your spouse sends something on eBay, eBay tracks that, then sends that information to the IRS. The IRS then expects you to pay income on the profit that you make from the thing that you sold on eBay. This is basically all I think it's for. You're then, you know, you got to take that and you got to pay into Social Security. You got to pay into Medicare, right? They want to get their taxes. I'm gonna do some more research into this ITIN thing. I'm gonna ask my wife about this, because she probably knows about this when she came over here 25 years ago. This is fascinating. So I appreciate the information, dude. We'll talk more about this this week. All right, what's wrong with getting a wife overseas? Nothing wrong with getting a wife overseas. And again, when I say mail order brides, you might think this is a derogatory term. It's not. It's just how it's said. Like I said, when I worked at Gulfstream, I had a guy. He was a finisher, and he got his wife over in I believe it was Thailand. I don't know if it could have been the Philippines, but I believe it was Thailand. And he was talking about all the bullshit. Angry man, Chris Brandon. I'm a pretty happy guy. You know, I'm pretty normal guy. I hope. Angry man, Chris Brandon. I'm a pretty happy guy. You know, I'm pretty normal guy. I hope. But again, I talk about real issues, like I said. And again, as someone who has to try and employ people in this country, I'm trying to tell you guys, I'm trying to illuminate reality for you. Employing people in this country doesn't make sense anymore because of what your government has done to you guys, has done to the average American in this country, right? When you let the third world in here, businesses don't have to pay you guys a living wage, right? Going to college didn't get the salary where you needed to be. If the employer doesn't want to pay you guys a wage, they just send the work to the third world, or they bring the third world in here. They don't have to pay you guys. You know, so it gives them so many options. Whereas if you would make them have to hire within their country, well, suddenly you guys get more swings at getting a good paying job, right? when the countries have to operate in the world that they've created with all their OSHA regulations, all their EPA regulations, all their tax regulations, their tax policy, right? Their tort regulations, their transportation regulations. When they have to operate in the world that they've created, it gets a lot more difficult. Suddenly, they're not as interested in having all the safe air, safe drinking water, the culture, the nerfed everything, the fucking 14 airbags in a car, all the crazy ABS electrical bullshit that causes cars to be $50,000 a year. Suddenly, they're talking a different note, right? They're singing a different tune, as they say. That's what I talk about. That's what I promote. And again, if you guys don't think that that's the world that we should live in, great. Continue to live in the world you're living in. It's easy to send your country to war, when you can outsource all the work to the third world. It's easy to send your country to war when you can bring the third world in here and do all the work, because the people don't fucking matter anymore. Like, why would you be responsive to the people? You don't have to fucking employ them. Put them all on welfare. Put them all on UBI. And again, it doesn't matter. So again, I want our corporations and our government to be responsible to the people. And until you kick out the third world, until you start following the rule of law, until everyone is held to the same standard, including your government, you're going to get what you guys are going to get. You're going to get what's called the leftovers. You're going to get what's left. You can have whatever is left after everyone else gets their piece, and I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's good for America, so that's where I come from. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's DC, bro. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on there. We got some more acronyms. This is Rudy the Boxer. I'm not sure what you're just saying, dude. All right, let's see. Jess says, Jess84, 68, hey, man, I'm 27, and I have my own furniture and cabinet business. Holy shit, Jess. And I live over in Southwest Missouri. What? Trying to build a business similar to yours. Thanks. So, Jess, if you send me an email, you could go to theresplendentcrow.com. You can go to modernwoodrunner.com. You can go to our Instagram pages. You can go to whatever pages. Hit me up. Send me a message, man, and I will personally hook up with you and see what we can do for you. Maybe we'll come down to your place and do a video. Maybe do a live stream. Maybe you come up here, show you guys what we do, show you how we grew our business. You can kind of see how our operation works since you're kind of local. I'd be happy to set that up for you, man. So I appreciate your comments. And yeah, I'll do whatever I got to do to help you out, man. Whatever you need, you just let me know. Okay, the joint, yeah, I saw the JCPOA, yep. All right, cool. Titans, just see, okay, yeah, you're one of the only woodworkers here that owns a legit business. All these other guys don't own business. They just talk YouTube videos. Yeah, and again, this thing I talk about, guys, if you guys go on YouTube, there's one thing that pissed me off, because during COVID, a lot of these guys that just weren't any good at what they were doing, they got on YouTube and they started talking about, hey, I'm a fucking furniture maker. I'm a handyman. I'm a repair guy. And the truth is that they weren't actually good at what they were doing. So they were making content, man. And what happened is everyone at home watching YouTube, right? Everyone's buying shit because they don't have to go to work because there's no fucking responsibility during COVID. Just be a good little obedient citizen. They started making YouTube videos and they got super popular. And then again, when you go on their, follow what's called the link tree, guys, go on all the YouTubers' pages and look at what they're selling. Don't look at what they're making. All you got to do is look at what people are selling. And every one of these experts that go on YouTube and tell you how to get rich, that tell you how to be a furniture maker, tell you how to be a welder, look at what they're selling, guys. They're all selling courses. They're all selling digital products. They're selling t-shirts, coffee cups. Fucking one of these guys, he's selling knives. He's a fucking furniture maker. He's selling knives. They're selling Ford ambassadorships. They're trying to get you guys to go buy anything. They're talking to you guys about better help, psychiatry stuff. They're trying to sell you guys VPNs. They're trying to sell you guys anything but furniture, because they don't make any money selling furniture, okay? I'm the only guy that makes money selling furniture. The guys that are telling you guys how to get rich using CNC routers, there's one that's, his name's, I think it's called Cutting It Close or Cutting Too Close or something like that. That guy's as legit as it gets. He makes a ton of money on YouTube. He talks about CNCs. He talks about making shit in CNCs. He talks to you guys how to sell things by making products on CNCs. Fascinating guy. He's the real deal. But most of these guys, they're all bullshit. And a lot of them are gone because guess what? No one's on fucking YouTube all day watching YouTube videos. But again, I don't make my money on YouTube. I got a real legit business. It's really fucking hard. And I tell you guys what it's really like. And that's where I come from, So Jess, man, I really appreciate your comment. I'm glad to know that you're a woodworker. You're trying to get something going on. And again, I'll help you in any way that I can, because it's really important to me that more people understand you can do it. Okay, John Anthony, F77, you understand that if Israel falls, they are just the first domino, right? Then Islam was born in 680. Okay, here we go. Again, I don't want to hear about your religious bullshit. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Just like I don't care about the Israel fucking bullshit, I don't care about the Islamic bullshit. And again, if Israel is the first domino to fall, what are you going to say about Yemen? What are you going to say about Sudan? What are you going to say about Iraq, Afghanistan? What are you going to say about Libya, right? Lebanon, Okay, how many fucking dominoes have to fall for you to get right with what's actually happening over there? You're saying Israel's the first domino? I've seen like 10 dominoes fall already. So again, who's right here? What are we doing? Like what like are you just acting obtuse? Are you really that fucking dense? You don't see what's really going on over there? So again, I'm with you. If you believe that Israel's the first domino fall, and then these guys are going to go and they're just going to start knocking off other countries. The other thing would be to say, oh my God, this is an Islamic region of the world. You know, and again, it seems like everyone's getting knocked off that is a lesser non-nuclear country. You know, they're all getting knocked off. They're all being destabilized. Israel's causing a lot of it. America's supporting it and doing a lot of it as well. I see a lot of dominoes that have already fallen. You're acting like the first domino's getting ready to fall, and I'm here to tell you that you're wrong, man. You're 100% wrong. So anyway, okay, I'll read the box there. Some uranium, one investors and related parties donated around $140 million to the Clinton Foundation over day. Yeah, Clintons are as corrupt as it gets, guys. They're just whatever. Xanatos Gambit. Oh yeah, I went to college with my wife's uncle. He was going to KU Med and be a doctor. She tried to scam me for scam attempt. I showed him her picture. He knew her, called her up, scheduled her. Okay, that's awesome, dude. I'm gonna read your comment one more time. Okay, I went to college with my wife's uncle. Wow, okay. And you said your wife was from the Philippines, but you were going to college with her uncle. All right, he was going to KU Med. He was going to KU Med to be a doctor. So yeah, that's funny. My dad went to my dad went to Kansas. So okay, my stepdad went to Kansas. Excuse me. She tried to scam me. First scam attempt ever. I show her picture. He knew her, called her up, scalded her. That's hilarious, man. Like what a small world. What are the odds, right? That's an incredible story, man. I need to meet you, man. You would be a fucking fascinating person to talk to. Like sit down at the bar and have a drink and just tell stories. We're friends for 13 years and then dated for. Yeah, what a cool story, man. I hope you guys read this guy's story. That's hilarious, man. That's yeah, I almost have tears right now. I was like kind of laughing so hard. Oh, that's so good, dude. All right, Zach Scott's 5945. John, cool to appreciate it. All right, guys, we're almost to the end of our stream. We're going to 120 minutes, guys. Let's go to the end here. I want to read a few more comments, guys. I appreciate all your time, guys. So thanks for all the big super chats, and thanks for all the people who put in comments, all the gifts, everything. You guys make this channel possible. Again, I told you guys the metrics of the channel. We've grown. We're at 282% growth in the last month. The channel's grown by thousands of people. We're completely monetized, and it's through doing all these chats. It's through you guys adding into the conversation, talk about real issues by people that do real work, right? So when I talk about growing this country from the inside, right? Helping the average person have a life like I had, right? No education, never graduated high school, was able to buy my home when I was 21 years old because I made an American product, worked for an American business, and I sold to Americans, right? This is the private jet industry. I want more people to be able to do that, right? I was able to move around the country, chase really good jobs, make a decent living with no education, right? I was able to start a small business by finding the right woman. I failed 3 times on my own, found the right woman. She had the skills that I lacked in things like marketing, things like fashion, things like she actually knew how to fucking design some shit, and she made it all possible, right? And I could never do this without my wife. We can bring back more of these kind of businesses. We can bring back more of this kind of a story. Not everyone has to follow the path. Not everyone has to go get $50, $60, $70,000 in debt to get a bullshit degree to go work for a company that doesn't really fucking care about you. The relationship between the employer and the employee in this country is wrecked. Employees are not loyal to their employer. The employer is not loyal to the employees. Everyone is looking to better their situation because, again, everyone can just, again, corporations can outsource everything in the third world, or they'll bring the third world in here. So why do they need to be loyal to you guys, right? Trump said he was going to fix that with tariffs. He was going to mass deport people and help make companies more loyal to the employees. He's not doing it. This is why I advocate for things I advocate for. The corporations and the people that are left in this country, they're terrible employers. They don't give a fuck about you guys. You are all a number to them. I'm here to tell you there are great employers out there. There are employers that sacrifice for themselves so their employees can have a little bit more. There are employers that really enjoy seeing their employees get new cars, have new children, buy new homes. Like, we actually like this kind of stuff. It's not all numbers to us. It's not all just give me more money, number go up. This is what we talk about on this channel. This is who I am. This is what I do, okay? So if you guys support that, hit the like button, subscribe, come back every day, watch what it is that we do. Go into the channel, watch the furniture that we make, watch how we do the metal work, watch how we do the painting. I show you guys all that stuff, you know? So anyway, you guys, I really appreciate all your comments. I really appreciate all the people that participated. Xantos, let's read your comment real quick. KU and I were going to the junior college at the time. We went for extra classes, so we talked. That's good, man. And again, the extra classes thing, this is what I talk about to everyone. Like, is doing the extra shit really helps, you know. And a lot of people don't think it does, but when I talk about the extra, it sounds like what you were doing is you were doing the extra stuff to get extra information because you cared about what it was that you were trying to do. You cared about your education. You cared about getting a good job, a degree, bettering your skills for yourself or your company that you work for. I don't know why you went to college or how you went to college. I say the same thing for normies. Go learn something. Go find something to do out of high school, whether that's HVAC, whether that's plumbing, whether that's, you know, working in the construction industry. Maybe you're a roofer, maybe you're a framer, maybe you're a concrete guy, maybe you're an electrician, whatever it might be. Do that for 40 hours a day and then go do it for 20 extra hours after. Go try and start a small business. Try and do this thing on the side. Learn how to sell. Learn how to create websites. Learn how to talk to people. Learn how to sell a different kind of a product within your industry. You know, find out who your business, your boss's clients are. Go talk to them. Like, you can do this stuff outside of your normal 8 to 5, get really fucking good at it, and then anything's possible. Be the guy that shows up on time every day so that when the guy that normally does the work who's not there on time, you're there, you get that opportunity. Be the guy that learns to get really good at what he does. Then you get the opportunities to go do all these other skills that I'm talking about. Okay, because guess what? The person that's being the junior welder today might be the guy that's selling welding services tomorrow. You know, the guy that's a junior welder today may become the journeyman, may become the master, may become the person that's the manager. You know, and if you're always there, you're always learning, you're always volunteering for things, it leads to good things. That is not dead in this country. And I hear it's dead all the time. And I don't think it's true. So you guys like that kind of content? Participate. And again, Xantos, dude, I really appreciate all your super chats. Titan Brew, man, you're the best. I really appreciate all the time you spend moderating all of these chats, right? Moderating this entire stream, because man, it is not what it is without you, dude. You and Son, when I had to do this myself yesterday, it was horrible trying to get all the fucking bullshit comments out of here. So, dude, I really appreciate it. I'm gonna have to do something nice for these people at some point. But again, I don't have any fucking t-shirts and coffee cups to send you guys. All I have is wildly expensive furniture. So maybe we need to have a conversation about that. Because I really do appreciate it. As this channel grows, it's all because of you guys, the people that helped me out with this. I couldn't do it without you. Okay, see, women are hard to find. My wife found me, and we've been married 41 years. Good comment, Titan. Okay, all right, let's go. Last, Titan Brewer said, I'm a masturbator. That's the name of my baiter shop near my house. Fantastic. All right, Breaking Bad. All right, Xantos said, thanks, Titan. When she is up, I will be trying to find a woodworker screenshot of the site. All right, cool. Xantos Gambit. All right, you guys have a great day. And again, new week. Let's go out and crush it. Have a good time. And, you know, there's other things in war to talk about. So other things to talk about than Epstein. So we'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.